Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, where the 4-1 Eagles face the 4-1 Cowboys. The winner will lead the NFC East. The weather, temperature 76 degrees, humidity 87%, chance of showers. And let's talk first about the Eagles, led by Randall Cunningham, and he seems very self-assured.
Well, you can look at him and you can tell physically he's all the way back. I mean, you can see him get rid of the ball quickly in the pocket. If he has to move, he can scramble and get outside, still throw the ball, or scramble, get outside and run. And I think another reason for this new confidence is the fact that for the first time, he really has a good offensive line. And I think for years he played and didn't have the best of offensive lines, but this is the best group that he's had. And maybe even bigger than that is this guy, Charlie Gardner here. He's played 2 games in the NFL, and in both of those games, he's rushed for over 100 yards. Now, we know about that broken first rib that he has up there. He's wearing a pair of special shoulder pads. He has muscle stimulators up in there, but what they need is they need Charlie Gardner for another 100-yard game.
They say, in fact, he is the biggest threat as a running back they've had since the days of Wilbert Montgomery. Now let's talk about Dallas. Emmitt Smith has been out with a pulled hamstring. What's the situation with him?
Well, he practiced last Wednesday and Thursday of this past week, and he said he felt good for the first time. He said he was able to move. He was able to do all the things he had to, and he says that he's ready to go today. The last time they played a year ago in the first game, he rushed for 237 yards against these Eagles.
The Eagles defensive coordinator, Bud Carson, says he's the best second-half runner that he's ever seen. Bonio to kick it off. And it's going to be Vaughn Hebron at the 5. Cut down at about the 27-yard line where the Eagles will take over. Bill Bates made the stop. Let's look at the Eagle offense led by Randall Cunningham. In his 10th year, that doesn't seem possible. And a good offensive line, as John Madden was talking about a minute ago. They are big, anchored by Dave Alexander. Those who'll handle the ball, Garner, Herschel Walker's the blocker, Fred Barnett, Calvin Williams, the fine pair of wide receivers, and Mark Bavaro, the tight end. Calvin Williams and Barnett both split wide to the right. Cunningham on first down puts Williams in motion and gives to Garner. Garner chased down quickly, and let's look at the #1 ranked defense of the Dallas Cowboys. The front 4, Haley, Lett, Maryland, and Tony Tolbert. 3 very underrated linebackers playing extremely well. Darren Smith, Robert Jones in the middle, and Dixon Edwards. And the secondary led by Darren Woodson of late. And he has really been playing well. 2nd and 8. Garner got 2 on the initial carry. Cunningham back to throw it. Pressured by Haley. He stepped up and dropped it out to Mark Bavaro. He might have an Eagle first down. A very, very good move by Cunningham.
Well, you know one thing, they have a rookie, Bernard Williams, number 74 here. Here's Charles Haley, one of the best pass rushers in football. So we can see on the first pass, they're going to help. They're going to have Mark Bavaro stay in and block him, and then have Williams come on after. So that's the way to take Charles Haley. That's the good news. You got Haley blocked. The bad news is you had to keep your tight end in.
But nevertheless, they got the first down. Williams, the man in motion. Cunningham to throw it. Swings it outside to Herschel Walker. Walker. Enough, it appears, for another Eagle first down, stopped by Kevin Smith.
And we know that they want to do a couple things. Here's Charles Haley again, and watch how they're going to block him on these passes. There you see Williams. He's going to take him to the inside. Then he has Antone Davis, his guard, just waiting there to help him. So what they say is they want to run at Charles Haley, and when they pass, they're going to double him and hope to frustrate him early.
Haley about 255. Those 2 blockers well over 300 apiece. That's a hard battle to win. This is Garner. Gets it to the outside and swings it down into Cowboy territory. A gain of about 4. Dixon Edwards out to make the stop. One thing about those Cowboy linebackers, they are all very quick.
Yeah, and that's one thing about Charlie Garner, too. I mean, he's very quick because he was going to one hole. There was nothing there. He bounced it out to the next hole. There was nothing there. And finally went out to the third hole. Watch how quick he is, Pat. See him start in that hole. Boom, nothing there into the second hole. And finally bounced it out to the third hole. Did a stiff arm and a spinner, all for 4 yards.
Got away from Woodson. Second down. Cunningham gets to Garner again, and Garner flashes into the Cowboys secondary. Momentarily, it looked as if he might get more. Darren Woodson this time with the sure shot.
Yeah, this guy's really something, as Charlie Gardner. If you just watch how quickly he hits things. I mean, he has, you have to get the ball in play, then get into the hole quickly, get out of the hole quickly, make moves, and get up the field. And he does all those things at the same time.
All of it at very high speed. 3rd and 3. Garner is out. Walker's I beg your pardon, it's James Joseph, the deep back. Here's Cunningham. To Walker, complete. First down, Eagles. Garner has a special pair of pads that he's wearing to protect that injury that John Madden was talking about a minute ago. And he's also got 2 electronic stimulators inside and underneath.
Yeah, and then they can change the intensity and everything. Here's the thing that controls it. These things go to his body and hook up there, so he has the shoulder pads that take the pressure off of the injured area, and then that muscle stimulator that supposedly keeps the pain away.
Garner's the single back. Cunningham. Pass is caught by Fred Barnett, out of bounds. Mark Bavaro, the Eagle tight end, word from their benches that he has a bruised thigh, but will be back.
Hey, that is a perfect pass by Randall Cunningham and a great catch by Fred Barnett. That's the thing that running can do for you. If you can get that running game going and make them stand in there and stop the run, then that's going to help your pass protection. Then you can do things like get the ball to Fred Barnett on the outside, Calvin Williams on the outside, do those kinds of things. But to me, it all starts with Charlie Garner.
2nd and 10. Cunningham back. Up the middle, complete to Calvin Williams. Williams has become the go-to guy. More and more each week, it seems like.
And I'm impressed with the way Rich Kotite, he's one of the head coaches that calls the plays. The way that he's calling the plays, and what he does is he says there's no down or distance. He said if you get into a down or distance, then you become predictable. And he said then you get into a rhythm, then the defense gets in the same rhythm with you. So he wants to stay out of a rhythm to keep the defense out of a rhythm.
Bavaro is back at tight end. It's Walker and Garner behind Cunningham. Fake to Garner. Pass in the air, flag on the play. Robert Jones hit the intended receiver, Calvin Williams. The referee today is Ron Blum. He, of course, wears the white hat. Ron Blum.
Pass interference, 55 defense, holding, 74 offense. Penalties, offset, second down, repeat first down.
Offsetting penalties, so they'll repeat the first down after they pick up all the flags. Barry Switzer, Joe Abazano, the special team coach.
I wonder what they're talking about. They can't be talking about the defense.
And not special teams.
No, I wonder why in the heck they haven't been able to stop the Eagles yet.
It's still first down, and Cunningham has the time, and the ball took off. Haley lined up on the left side, which he's going to do from time to time, he told us yesterday.
Well, I think that, over the years, Haley has had pretty good success against Broderick Thompson.
Yeah.
Remember, Broderick Thompson last year played left tackle for the Eagles, and Haley had a pretty good time against him, as did Jim Jeffcoat. So Butch Davis is going to try and get Haley over there some on Thompson. And also get Jim Jeffcoat in there on him and some passing down.
Walker and James Joseph now goes in motion. Walker swings outside to the left. The pass goes to him, and out there quickly to make the stop is Darren Smith. Let's go back and look at that catch by Fred Barnett a minute earlier. Watch his right foot, though. It's standing. It's right on the line.
Well, yeah, they said that he was bobbling the ball, I guess, Pat, and they didn't give him that catch, and they didn't give him a first down, and that was why it wasn't. But if you look here, he has the ball, and that second foot is down. They took one away from Fred Barnett and should have had.
They said he didn't have possession when he went out of bounds. I wonder. Here's Cunningham back to throw. The protection breaks down. Cunningham on the ground. Dallas has recovered his fumble. Chad Hennings collapsed the middle. Jeffcoat there with him.
Now they got Charles Haley blocked. They had him doubled. James Joseph was helping in on there, but they didn't get the other guys blocked. You see, they got Chad Hennings is getting the push. That's one thing he gives the Cowboys now is a push up the middle. That makes Randall Cunningham bring the ball down. And we just said that Jim Jeffcoat has had success against Broderick Thompson, and he gets a rye away from Thompson, and he's a guy that hits Cunningham and knocks the ball out of there.
And Hennings, I think, wound up with it. Either he or Jeffcoat. First down, Cowboys at their own 25. Eggman to Emmitt Smith. To about the 30. Let's look at the Cowboy offensive unit now, led by Troy Aikman. In his 6th year, it would be hard to say it's his best year, but it's good. In front of him, one of the best offensive lines in football. And those who handled the ball, Emmitt Smith and Darrell Johnson, the wide receivers, Irvin and Harper, Jay Novacek, the tight end. 2nd and 6. Aikman gets to Smith again. A couple of yards, maybe. Fuller made the stop on Smith. William Perry in the middle. That's the front four of the Eagles. Fuller, Andy Harmon, William Perry, and Greg Townsend. The linebackers, Byron Evans in the middle, Romanowski from the 49ers, and William Thomas. Eric Allen, Greg Jackson, Michael Zordich, and Mark McMillan. Third down and about 3.5 or 4. And Aikman back to throw it for the first time. Away from one blitzer, but not enough for the first. Tripped up by Andy Harmon.
You know, and that's what you call a coverage set, Pag. Aikman was back. He looked to the right, couldn't find anything there. Looked for the middle, couldn't find anything there. Had to bring the ball down, and finally Andy Harmon got him.
Bad thumb and all.
Yeah, broken thumb, cast on his thumb. They didn't know if he'd be able to play at all. Bud Carson said he's going to start him and see if he can do anything in there, and if he can, he's going to leave him in there. But that was great coverage.
John Jett back to punt it to Jeff Snyder. Good kick by Jett. This one really took off. Back to the 17. Coverage breaks down just a bit. And Snyder off to the races, being chased. He could go, cut down from behind by Darren Smith. Just tripped him. Good return nevertheless.
You know, sometimes you can out-punt your coverage. You can see when Seidner catches the ball there, the closest Cowboy is 10 yards away from him. So now he has 10 yards to get that ball up, make those moves, pick up those blocks, find that alley, and then Darren Smith makes a heck of a job catching him from behind.
40-yard return by Jeff Seidner. First and 10 Eagles at their own at the Dallas 41. Two tight end set up. That's Garner to the 34. For McDonald's update, let's send you now to James Brown in Hollywood.
All right, Pat, in Washington, Arizona has tied it up on a controversial play. Steve Berline finds Ricky Proehl, corner of the end zone. He has it. Alan Grant stole it. It was initially ruled an interception on the part of Grant, overruled that touchdown and the point after. Tied it up. 14 seconds left, and we're tied. Back to Pat.
2nd and 3, Philadelphia from the Dallas 34. That's Garner again. Cut down by Dixon Edwards. Close to a first down, maybe not quite.
That was one thing the Eagles wanted to do. We talked about that. They are not going to let Charles Haley take over this game. So on passes, they're going to double him. On runs, they're going to run right at him. You see, here's Haley right there. And you watch, here's Gardner. He takes the ball. Haley takes the inside. They double team him and run right off that double team. They want him to anchor in there and play the run and not just think of going after Randall Cunningham.
A foot short. We'll make it 3rd. 5:51 left in the first quarter. 0-0 score. Kind of game we expected. They're tied for first place in the NFC East.
Rich Kotite gives that play to Zeke Bratkowski, who then calls it in to Randall Cunningham. Like Zeke can find that play on his piece of paper. I wonder if Rich called one that wasn't on the paper.
Walker and Joseph. Short yardage. About a foot. O'Neal was the man in motion. Cunningham fakes, gets to Walker, wide open. Herschel Walker inside the 5. Touchdown. The Eagles. Herschel Walker.
I don't know where Rich Kotite came up with that play, whether it was on the card or not, but I'll tell you it was a great call.
From 32 yards out.
What a play fake. Everyone went for the play fake. That's what you're going to do. The thing is you fake the ball to Joseph in here. See the good play fake by Joseph, good play fake by Randall Cunningham. Bring the ball out. Herschel Walker was wide open. He hit him, and then Herschel Walker just took it into the end zone. I don't know if that ball was in that right hand, if that broke the plane or not. That's what the fans are booing about.
That was close. They just replayed it back on the giant screens on top of the stadium, so the crowd had a chance to look at it. Eddie Murray.
And that's one Herschel's going to keep.
Yep. Bryant Barker is the holder. Murray changed this week. Holders, that is, not teams. Murray's good, as he usually is. 7-0, the Eagles.
Yeah, watch this, Pat. I think Herschel Walker stepped out of bounds before he got to the end zone. Watch that right foot right there. He was out of bounds before he got there, so whatever happened to the ball doesn't make any difference.
7-0, the Eagles.
Camry was a...
Eddie Murray set to kick off. Knuckleball heads for Brock Marion. Marion gets out to about the 27, where the Cowboys will take over. Herschel Walker's touchdown gives the Eagles a lead, 7-0.
Hi, honey. I'm home.
Melrose for Men, Monday.
At Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden, 7-0. The Eagles lead the Dallas Cowboys. First time the Cowboys have trailed in the last 9 quarters. They have it 1st and 10 at their own 27. 5:21 left to play in the first quarter. Barry Switzer has had a successful debut. His team with a record of 4-1, tied with the Eagles. England gives to Darrell Johnston. Stopped by Greg Townsend.
You know, we were talking to Bud Carson last night, the Eagle defensive coordinator. He was talking about how important it is. He said what you'd like to do is stop Emmitt Smith and double both outside receivers, but you can't, so you just mix it up and try and keep them off balance. He said, but the thing about Emmitt Smith is he doesn't go away. That, as you said earlier, he's the best second half runner he has ever played against.
On second down, Aikman back to throw it. Intended for Irvin. That ball got away from Aikman. Eric Allen, the defender.
I think that Emmitt Smith, whenever you give him the ball, is pretty good. But if you look at last season, in the first half, he averaged 4.7 yards per carry, and in the second half, 6.2. So part of that is Emmitt Smith, and part of that is that big Dallas Cowboy offensive line just wearing the defense down.
And they are big. 3 wide receivers this time. Emmitt Smith remains the lone back. Aikman, incomplete. There's Kevin Williams covered by Eric Allen. And the Cowboys again will have to send their punting unit on the field. John Jett got off a rocket that first time.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, they didn't know, the Eagles didn't know if Andy Harmon, their improved defensive tackle, would be able to play, but he was the guy on that play that put pressure on Aikman again. He knocked Troy Aikman down just as he threw it.
51 yards by Jett the first time. Partially blocked. And the Eagles will take over. The ball bounded out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. Ken Rose is the man who got the hand up to knock it back.
That's Ken Rose, is number 55. He's coming straight up the middle. And he had the left hand out, the right hand out, and it was the right hand that got it. That's what Ken Rose is. He's a special teams guy. In fact, he's the special teams captain of this Philadelphia Eagle team. Watch him, he's going to come straight up the middle, and right there he just gets his hand on it, knocks the ball out to the left side, and the Eagles have a first down here. The Eagles have won every area of this game so far.
So far, they really have. They lead 7-0 on the scoreboard. 4.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter.
Guy in the back row.
Fire a bad seat.
Captain Binoculars.
Captain Binoculars.
Buy any McDonald's extra value meal, and for just 39 cents more, you can supersize it for more fries and more drink. Plus, get a super ticket that could win you one of 200 trips for 2 to the Super Bowl. Watch Fox NFL Sunday during pregame to match and win.
I won free tickets to the Super Bowl.
To rub our noses in it.
So, what do you think?
You look tough to me.
You just don't see that these days.
I'm impressed. I want those qualities on our team. Think we can get them?
Let's go ask.
Hey, that's Ellie's head scout.
Did you come over here, second son?
Yeah, you.
It's a show, baby.
Could you turn around? You know if these sweats come in teal?
Is that seam double-stitched?
You like the way it flows?
Looking for tough athletic wear? Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Flexible.
Back at Texas Stadium, the Eagles lead already 7-0. They just got a partial punt block by Ken Rose, and so they have it 1st and 10 at the Dallas 39. Trying to get more. Garner and Walker behind Cunningham. Calvin Williams, the man in motion. Garner. Boy, he gets into the secondary in a hurry. And if Woodson doesn't make that tackle, he's in the end zone in a hurry.
Good block by Antone Davis. He's going to start right here, and he's going to take Leon Lett out to this side, and the ball is going to come straight up the middle. But it doesn't take a big block. But watch Davis get into Lett. He's going to get into him there, and then the ball right there. Boom, they get a little double team right there to start off with. And Charlie Garner, all it takes is a little. Just hold him up a while, and Charlie Garner's through that hole.
He just sort of gets lost back in behind those offensive linemen. Here's Garner again. This time no gain.
They didn't get Leon Lett that time.
No.
Yeah, they were talking that last week the special teams were so bad, and Rich Kotite said that we have to be a lot better if we're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys, and so far they started off with a 40-yard punt return and a punt block. So in the first quarter, these Eagles special teams have gotten a lot better.
2nd and 11. Williams again, the man in motion. Cunningham back to throw, and here comes the blitz. Darren Smith unblocked, but there's a flag on the play.
He almost took all of Cunningham's parts off. I think it's going to be a holding penalty. But Darren Smith, you talk about speed and quickness. You talk about a guy coming quickly off a corner. He looks like he's shot out of a cannon. I mean, he comes there. Randall Cunningham doesn't see him, doesn't feel him, doesn't hear him, doesn't anything.
And why he doesn't fumble is a miracle.
Yeah, that's one thing that they better figure out is they better figure out that the Cowboys that don't blitz a lot, but once in a while they'll bring them, and when they do bring them, or they bring them quickly, the guy that was holding was the right guard, Lester Holmes, number 73.
Third down, about 17. Joseph, the deep back. Here's Cunningham. Incomplete and no flag. And right now, let's take you back to Hollywood. James Brown.
Pat, in overtime in Washington, the Redskins going for the win. A 51-yard field goal attempt by Low Miller is blocked by Eric Swan. The Cardinals have it. They're inside the Washington 30, driving for the win themselves. That again in overtime. Back to Dallas. Pat and John.
Eddie Murray will try a 50-yarder for the Eagles. Barker's the holder.
The fridge didn't get in there. Get the fridge in. He's reporting up. They had to call timeout. The Eagles didn't have enough guys in there, and the guy that wasn't in there was the fridge. So they were doing well on special teams, and they just forgot to get a guy in there.
The appliance didn't make it. 7-0. The Eagles have changed their mind about trying a 50-yard field goal, and now the punter, Brian Barker, new this week, is standing back at about the Cowboy 48. He'll try to hang it high. Does off the side of his foot. The ball bounds into the end zone. The Cowboys will take it over at the 20. In today's politically correct world, George Carlin is one guy who's not afraid to tell it like it is. Catch the season premiere of the George Carlin Show tonight at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, right after Married with Children.
Yeah, I think you only get so many opportunities to go after scores when you play a great team like the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are a great team. And I think you have to take shots when you have those opportunities. And I'm kind of surprised that the Eagles on that field position didn't take some kind of shot.
Aikman, low, intended for Darrell Johnston. Aikman looks as if the coverages that the Eagles are showing him are not what he expected.
It's the whole coverage thing, and you can see what they do is they roll up and then they bump and then they run and then they get their linebackers out, and what they try and do is show them one thing, like they're going to bump and ride with them and then come off and use combination type coverages.
A blown play by the Cowboys. Emmett went one way, Aikman went the other way, and all the tires blew out.
I have never seen the Cowboy offense start off like this. They look like they haven't practiced this week. I mean, here you just start off and it's the I formation, and Aikman came out to the left, and it looks like he's the guy that made the mistake because everyone else went like they were going to the right, so he had to keep it. He's lucky that he got his left foot out of the ground on that play. I've never seen the Cowboys start off looking like this on offense.
Like confused. 3rd and 11. Here comes a blitz. Aikman pumps and goes. Got a man. Pass is picked off by Greg Jackson. Intended for Michael Irvin.
You know what he tried to do? You're going to see he's going to try and pump, and he wants this guy to move. Now there's Jackson, and he doesn't go for it. Now watch Jackson all the way. You see, when you get the pump there, he took one little step, and then he comes back here to the right. Now, Michael Irvin was past Eric Allen, and Greg Jackson made, first of all, some read, and then some move, and then some catch.
to get back there like he did, and then to make this interception like he did.
He just out-jumped Michael Irvin for that one.
First down, Eagles at their own 42. They lead 7-0. Barnett was the man in motion. This is Garner. He flashes quickly into Cowboy territory.
Yeah, the Eagles in this first quarter are just beating the Cowboys to the punch. They're beating them to the punch on offense, defense, special teams. That one was a confusion one. See, they're trying to target. They thought that the pump would take Greg Jackson. Greg Jackson just took a half a step for the pump. Then they were going to lay it over to Irvin. They got by Allen, but Greg Jackson made a heck of a recovery.
Second and short, 2 tight ends. Navarro and Johnson. That's Garner. First down. Well, they keep saying week after week after week that he can't carry the ball 25 and 30 times a game, but he keeps doing that.
Yeah, and you know, you can see it starting to hurt him now too, because it's not only the stress fracture of that first rib, but it's the pounding that he takes every time. You see just the jolt when he gets hit by Jones. I mean, just that whole upper body just jolts.
And don't forget, he didn't practice at all in training camp, so just the 2 games that he's been in are the few times that he's been hit. First down. Cunningham behind his intended receiver, Fred Barnett. Larry Brown on the coverage.
You know, Otho Davis, the Eagle trainer, was saying last night that you kind of need trauma practice, and that's what Charlie Gardner hadn't had. You know, that hitting where you get that jolt. There's Otho Davis right there in the middle, where you get that jolt, and there is a trauma to your body. And he said he hasn't been practicing any trauma, so anytime that he gets hit, whether it's an injury or not, it's trauma to his body. He only weighs 180 pounds.
Trauma practice is not much fun. Haley jumped. Walker was the man in motion.
Haley tried to go do the around the world there.
94 defense, unabated to the quarterback. Offside, 5 yards, repeat second down.
Here's around the world, Pat. You just start up. Now, you know you're offside. You don't even go in and hit the quarterback. You just keep running in circles. And that just kind of loosens you up. You stay loose, you're relaxed and everything, just run around in a circle. But that's a real pro. I mean, you know, some amateurs would come in and drill the quarterback on that. When he knew he was offside, just did a circle and back. Okay, let's play the next one.
2nd and 5. Joseph and Walker, the 2 backs. Navarro moved the tight end. The pass complete to Joseph, who's hit by Robert Jones, but this is going to be against the Eagles.
That's right. The Cowboys had one on Charles Haley, and this one will be against number 84.
False start prior to the snap. 84 offense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
Rich Kotite. We meet with a lot of coaches, but no one brings more enthusiasm to the meeting than he does.
Yeah, and you know, he always knows exactly what he wants to do, what he thinks he can do. It doesn't always go that way, but whatever his ideas are, he's enthusiastic about them on Saturday night.
That's James Joseph. Picks his way for about 3 yards, stopped by Robert Jones again.
James Joseph is a good changeup to a guy like Charlie Gardner. I mean, you see how much quicker Charlie Gardner. I mean, Charlie Gardner on a play like that would have been in, out, through, and up for a first down by the time it took Joseph to get to the line.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score: Philadelphia 7, Dallas 0. The Eagles 7, the Cowboys 0 as we begin the second quarter.
Yeah, you look here at the first quarter stats, Pat. The Eagles are really beating the Cowboys everywhere you can. Look at pass yards 59 -3, total yards 106 to 6 for the Cowboys. Look at this 7th first down. The Cowboys have none. Turnovers 1 each. Look at time of possession, 11 minutes. But the thing is, the Eagles have had those opportunities, but they've only scored 7 points.
You'd think it should be more than 7-0 with all that. Third down. Cunningham fires it up and out of bounds. Incomplete, no flag. Under heavy pressure. Intended for Victor Bailey.
It seems like every time you see heavy pressure, you're going to see number 77, Jim Jeffcoat there. Coming from the top of the screen, you get the blitz from the bottom of the screen. Jim Jeffcoat hitting them from the top. The Cowboys don't blitz a lot. They just pick their spots, but when they do, they're very, very effective.
That time it was Kenny Gant, the special teams expert, that blitzed. Evan Williams let the punt sail over his head, and it flies into the end zone, so the Cowboys will take over at the 20. But the Eagles have dominated and lead 7-0.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by IBM. There is a difference. By Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide. By Zima, a unique alcohol beverage. And by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Back at Texas Stadium, where the Eagles lead the Cowboys 7-0 as we begin the second quarter. Those of you who just watched that game, Arizona beating Washington 19-16. Todd Peterson's field goal gave Arizona the victory. This is Emmitt Smith, and a flag on the play. Greg Jackson up to make the stop.
You know, who would have thought we'd be in the second quarter? The Dallas Cowboys wouldn't have scored any points. Emmitt Smith wouldn't have gained many yards, and Troy Aikman wouldn't have completed a pass yet.
And they have no first downs yet.
Well, because, you know, last week against the Cardinals, they looked so sharp. Although we saw the Eagles 2 weeks
48
ago.
offense.
And they
10
look.
yards, repeat first down.
Darrell Johnston was called for the holding. And they back him up 10 yards to the 10. Barry Switzer starting to get a little excited about things. 7-0.
We saw the Eagles 2 weeks ago against the 49ers, and they looked a lot like they did in this game, except they scored when they had opportunity.
They got out in front a long way. Here's Aikman to Harper. There's the first down. And now let's take you back to Hollywood Studios and James Brown.
All right, Pat, a little visual support for what you've already said. Todd Peterson boots home the game-winning field goal. He was signed just 5 days ago to replace the injured Greg Davis. Buddy Ryan's team improves to 2-4. Washington drops to 1-6. Back to Pat.
All right, James, thank you. To correct what I said, that was not enough for the first down. They gained 15 yards, so it's still second down. Pass is caught by Harper again. And that is the first down for Dallas.
It's the same play. Harper was on the right side, ran a slant. Now they put him over on the left side, and he runs a slant. Up 3 steps, boom, right to the inside. Aikman has perfect timing, perfect rhythm, and just hits Harper just as he makes his break.
A big pair of wide receivers in Irvin and Harper. Irvin goes left, Harper right. Harper 6'3". He's against McMillan this time, who's 5'7". But it's Emmitt Smith. Underneath the stack. Stopped by Byron Evans, but Emmitt Smith got 5 yards.
And that's when Emmitt Smith is so tough, that he's so strong and powerful. And as you say, he's underneath stuff. And defensive backs and linebackers will always complain that with this big offensive line of the Cowboys and Emmitt Smith getting down there low, you can't see him. I mean, it's hard enough when you see him and you try and tackle him, but half the time you can't see him behind those big guys.
Emmitt Smith again. A yard shy of a first down. Perry and Harmon stop Emmitt Smith.
We were talking to Emmitt Smith yesterday about the fridge there. William Perry, who just made that tackle. And he said, I don't know. He said it takes a long time to run around him.
And he said he just swats you.
He said, yeah.
And you go down.
Yeah, if you get close to him, it doesn't take a big hit. He said just a swat will knock you down. One thing about him, you can't run at him or cut back into him.
No, it's a mistake to cut back into him. Emmitt Smith. Close to a first down, but not quite. I don't think. They'll probably measure.
That was William Thomas who made the tackle, but Stepnoski did get a little push here. Watch Stepnoski now. We said you can't cut back, but he gets a little push on Perry because Emmitt Smith does cut back there. You see the little push there? And right there, that's the thing that gave Emmitt Smith that first down. Stepnoski is very good at leverage.
Gets up underneath the pads and then takes away all their power. Novacek was the move man, and Aikman got a man open, but Eric Allen's back there. Incomplete. Alvin Harper with the leap, and Harper stretched out.
Yeah, he tried that same thing, Troy did. He tried that deal where you're going to pump in the middle and try and hold that inside guy and then get the outside guy deep, and it just didn't happen. Watch Harper. He's the outside guy. Now, he's going to run and up. You see a little out and up. And now what you're trying to do, you're trying to get Eric Allen, number 21, with the pump. He didn't get him with the pump, although he almost caught that ball. I mean, one thing when you can jump as high as Alvin Harper does, then you have to get ready to come down out of that jump.
It's a long way down, and that hurt. And he's still down.
And it looked like he started to get his right hand out of there for the fall. And when he did, he dropped the ball. Because there was a point there that he had caught that ball.
Still 7-0. 11-10 left before the half at Texas Stadium. The Eagles lead.
The Chevy Camaro. 2 airbags, fuel-injected V6, anti-lock brakes. It's $14,750 worth of genuine Chevrolet.
He can start fires at will.
Concentrate. Feel the heat.
And not even Mantis can stand in his way.
No!
Mantis, a brand new episode, Friday at 8, 7 Central.
Alvin Harper was stretched out. Now he's over at the Cowboy bench. And the early word that we got is he got a cut on his face.
Yeah, well, he dropped the ball and landed face first.
That's Irvin in motion. This is Aikman back to throw it. Out to Emmitt Smith. One hand, picks it up. Don't think that was a lateral.
Yeah, if you watch that play again, Pat, you'll see Alvin Harper, when he goes up for the ball, I mean, he leaps. Then when he brings it back in, the ball hits his helmet, knocks his chin strap off. Then he drops the ball and goes down, and the first thing that hits is his face. He tries to get the hand down, and look, he just goes face first right into that turf.
And as high as he went up in the air, that's a long way down.
That's how he got the gas. He knocked his chin strap off by bringing the ball into him.
Third down. Aikman has the protection, throws for Novacek, incomplete.
I always say that Mark McMillan, he's only 5'7" or 5'8" or whatever, and he can't, play against a big guy. There it is. He can't, or he wouldn't be in this league. I mean, these are the kind of plays Mark McMillan can make. Jay Novacek is 6'4". Mark McMillan is 5'7" or 8" or whatever. But if he couldn't jump like this and get position like that and do those kind of things, he wouldn't be in the league. You see it right there. When you jump, it all evens out.
Well, like you said, for a long time, he may be 5'7", and he is, but he's been short all of his life.
Yeah, and he's played all his life. In this league, in Alabama, anywhere he's been.
The punt is down by Matt Vanderbeek at about the 5, just outside the 5. Good kick by Chet. That's the all-time championship disclaimer.
I'll tell you, if anyone's going to get him, that's Fred Dreyer. He's going to get him.
Who was that thug? Did you know him?
I don't know that thug, but he had to be some guy who was doing something bad. But if guys are doing that, stuff they're not supposed to do, Fred Dreyer will get him. He even puts his hand on their head before he puts them in the car.
I'm glad to see he's still working. Garner, the ball carrier, stopped by Leon Lett.
That's tough. You know, you get a guy like Charlie Garner, and the two tough areas, you can see that where he's hooked up to that muscle stimulator. I mean, he got stuff in his pads, on his neck, on his shoulder, on his vertebrae, on everything. But the toughest running is coming off the goal line and going into the goal line.
2nd and 8. Garner got 2. Bam. Garner hit by Leon Lett. The big cat.
You need the big cat in there. You need the big defensive lineman in there to get penetration. And if you have that, there's not going to be any more running. I think they controlled Maryland. They controlled Lett early. But now it looks like this defense is starting to rise to the occasion.
3rd and 12.
Yeah, Leon Lett is called the big cat. Went down, they played a game in Mexico, and now he's called El Gato Grande.
He has that written on the back of his shoes.
El Gato Grande.
7-0, the Eagles lead with 9:47 left in the first half.
It's not a happy phase. What, are you waiting for your computer company to pick up the phone? Don't they realize the reason you're here tonight is because you have to be finished in the morning? You know what your mistake is? You're a person. See, if you were a big fancy corporation, 16 guys would be all over you apologizing by now. Or maybe your mistake is you're holding for the wrong company.
Now you wonder why Leon Lett got so much penetration. He's right there. And the answer is no one blocked him.
That helps.
They just take him. He's on a pass rush, and on the way to Randall Cunningham, he found Charlie Garner.
They were so concerned about Haley, they were going to double him and forgot Leon Lett. Cunningham standing 5 yards deep in the end zone. A quick kick by Cunningham. We've seen that before. Takes an Eagle bounce. Still going. Still going. Flag on the play. Back in the end zone.
Now that is a great play. There can be roughing the punter, but that is a great play. 3rd down, quick kick. The element of surprise, the kick, the roll.
81 yards. We saw him at Giant Stadium. Remember that once?
Because the ball was quick kick, there is no foul on the play.
No foul, no foul. Because it was a quick kick. But 81 yards, that'll get you out of a hole.
See, Cunningham starts like he's in the shotgun, just takes the ball, and he just punts it. And they say because it was a quick kick that you can't rough him. I don't know why. I mean, it would seem like if it's a punter, after he punts the ball, you can't hit him. That was Leon Lett that hit him. Lett wasn't sure exactly what he did, maybe.
That was December the 3rd in 1989 that he kicked that ball at Giant Stadium that rolled forever.
You know, and again, I remember Jimmy Johnson used to call plays momentum changers. Coaches have called them, you know, field position changing. And that was one of those plays right there by Randall Cunningham.
Instead of the Cowboys having the Eagles squeeze down to their end of the field, now they've got 85 yards to go. And the handoff is to Emmett Smith. Outside to the 20.
Emmett Smith gets 5 yards to the 20. Brought down by designated Rushton.
The Aflac NFL Trivia. How many Cowboys have played for all 3 head coaches? Landry, Johnson, and Switzer. 2nd and 5 at the 20. Again, it's Emmett Smith. And Smith gets the first down. Again, the question is how many Cowboys, current Cowboys, have played for all 3 of their head coaches? There have been 5. Tuinei, Newton, Bates, Jeff Coat, and Michael Irvin.
You know, the one you always miss is Michael Irvin because you tend to always associate him with Jimmy Johnson and think that he came the same time Jimmy Johnson came. But he came when Tom Landry was still the coach there.
2 tight end offense for Dallas. Emmett Smith, the ball carrier. And there's not much there. Emmett out to about the 29. Stopped by Byron Evans, and a scuffle breaks out. That might be more than a scuffle. Did you see that one official with his head down, burrowing? That's Art Demas.
Yeah, and he's wearing a flak jacket, I think. He had an injury a year ago.
Yeah.
Watch him. See underneath there? He does have a flak jacket. He's darn near dressed in a whole bodysuit. Watch, he's the umpire. Art Demas is the umpire. It'll be right behind the defensive line of scrimmage. So he'll be the guy that's coming right there. See him come in there? He stuck his head in there, old Art.
Well, Art played at Vanderbilt. Here's Aikman. He has to put his head down and go straight ahead. William Fuller and Greg Townsend put the heat on Aikman.
You know, the guy that's really playing well, too, in there is Andy Harmon. I mean, they weren't sure. He has a broken thumb. He has a cast on his hand. And if there's anything that's tough in this game, it's to play without having both your hands where you can grab. And he really can't grab with that right hand, but he's making a lot of plays. He's getting pressure inside. He's clogging up that inside run. And with a broken thumb, he's really playing well.
That's Novacek in motion this time, and here's Aikman. Gets it to Novacek. Rolls forward far enough to get a first, but there's a flag on the play. Harper is back in for the Cowboys, by the way.
I think Troy Aikman is just trying to get something going here. You know, and when you have to get something going, I think you either run it to Emmett, or in Troy Aikman's case, you look for Jay Novacek, because he has yet to get the ball to Michael Irvin. And I think eventually they have to work and get something going here and then do that.
53 defense. Penalties declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Romanowski. The Eagles really like the way he plays.
Yeah, what he was doing is they're jamming underneath. They want to jam those short guys and jump on them, and that was what Romanowski was doing. And with the new rules now, if you're beyond 5 yards, then you can't jam them.
6:35 left to play by the time this play gets started. That's in the first half. Darrell Johnston in motion. Aikman to Irvin. Michael Irvin. If he had gotten away from Mark McMillan, which of course he didn't, a good tackle, there was nobody else.
If Michael Irvin hadn't caught a pass, here he is. He's going to run right in here and be hit right in this hole. Now that's the thing that Michael Irvin can do. He can go up, and then he can turn in and see that hole. Just come under control. Aikman hits him perfectly. But I'll tell you, here's where it starts right here. These guys in their protection and knocking the pass rush out and creating that lane that Aikman could throw the ball in. Because if he didn't throw it right when he did, you could see what was going to happen to him.
Byron Evans is right in his face. This is Emmett Smith again. And Emmett inside the Eagle 40, about the 38. Greg Townsend made the stop. This by far the best looking possession the Cowboys have had.
Now they're starting to do some things. I mean, they're running the ball to Emmett. They hit Novacek on a little something. They got the first pass to Michael Irvin, and now it's starting to look like the Cowboy offense. Here's Ernie Zampese there. He's the offensive coordinator and the guy who calls these plays.
Second.
All good ones now.
2nd and 4. Yes, he is. Bumbo. Aikman just had to drop on it.
Barry Switzer, I don't know that, you know, they had that game against Detroit where they didn't look too good, but I don't know that he's been through too many of these things, either at the University of Oklahoma when he was coaching there, or here where you have the best team, but you're just not functioning.
Seemed like he was always far ahead, way ahead when he was at Oklahoma.
Well, here he's getting beaten to the punch today.
So far. Emmett Smith deep. They got to throw it. Here comes the Eagles making a blitz. The pass caught by Kevin Williams. Aikman on the money.
Yeah, and he had to catch that one right on the money. He's here on the left. He has to come under control. You see number 38, Miano, was doubling him on the inside. So what Kevin Williams had to do is come under control between Allen and Miano.
Kevin Williams, injured last year, has come back to be a dependable third wide receiver for Dallas.
How about that kick return he had last week? That was exciting.
Here's Emmitt Smith. And the Eagle defense has been tough against the run. And Emmitt Smith, he's gained some yards, but they've been hard yards.
Well, you wonder how Nate Newton can get around there and not find someone. Either Nate should have found someone to hit, or Emmitt should have followed Nate. Here's Nate. Now watch old big Nate. He comes here and doesn't get anything. So either Emmitt Smith ought to get in behind him, or Nate ought to pick one of those green jerseys before he got out that far to the right.
And Emmitt being helped to the sideline. 2nd and 8. I don't think it's the hamstring. He just took a pretty good shot.
I'll tell you, he cut back into about 4 green jerseys there.
There were a lot of them he found that Nate couldn't find.
How Nate could take a whiff out there, I don't know.
On 2nd down, Aikman rolls right. Got his man Scott Galbraith down to the 10 to about the 9.
That's the old bootleg play where you get the backs going one way, you fake, the quarterback goes the other way, Scott Galbraith, the tight end, comes across. See, what you do is you get the fake going this way, then the quarterback comes here and he bootleg, then you get the tight end coming across. And you try and get the defense going one way. See, you get the defense going that way, bring the quarterback out to this side, bring the tight end over in the other side, and then you have a perfect play.
On 1st down, it's Lincoln Coleman. Coleman to the 4. To the 4. Can't wait to get up. He's mad because he didn't score.
Yeah, but he better calm down. You don't want to get one of those delay of game penalties for throwing the ball or for getting too excited down there. Remember that happened against the Giants. They started celebrating on the 4-yard line.
Good lead block by Darrell Johnston is what sprung it. They can make a 1st down without scoring after they spotted the ball on the previous play. It was just outside the 10. Coleman deep. Lincoln Coleman won't get in. Didn't get much. The dance started too soon. And we'll get the 2-minute warning with the Eagles leading the Dallas Cowboys 7-0. 2 minutes left in the 1st half.
Now, the 5 greatest football players ever. I keep getting phone calls, so I made some more changes. At number 5, Sterling Sharp replaces Jerry Rice. He just does. Number 4, that snowplow guy from the '82 Pats Dolphins game. Number 3, Fred Biletnikoff. 2 words, stick 'em. There's no room for number 2 this week because number 1 is just too big. Al Del Greco, an inspiration to us all. I'm Edwin the Hat Sherwin. See you next week.
You want to know about Michael Irvin? Well, I'll tell you about Michael Irvin. Man has no fear. I remember this one play when, yeah, he was running a deep slant against the grain, against a swarming secondary. Oh, yeah. Does Michael hear the footsteps? Does Michael fear the footsteps? No. Michael locks in. Michael holds on. I hear the footsteps. You hear those footsteps?
People tell us we beat up our trucks more in our commercials than they'd...
Emmitt Smith is back in the game now, but if you watch what happened to him, Pat, they said he got hit in the head. Watch number 56. Byron Evans is going to come right there. You saw the helmet-to-helmet contact. That's why Emmitt Smith went out. He was out for a few plays. Now he's back in.
At the 5. 3rd down. And Emmitt Smith is the lone setback. Eagles fake to blitz. Flag on the play. Aikman through the end zone for Darrell Johnston, incomplete. But I think the Eagles were offside.
I'll tell you one thing, these guys are going after each other.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there's some real hitting going on out there. And today isn't hitting weather. It's awfully muggy down there.
Rain most of the night. It feels like it might rain at any minute.
There's a lot of quickness in this game and a lot of, crisp, hard hitting.
Those uniforms get wet, sort of stick to you. Everything does.
The bigger you are, the more you have to stick to and the more you sweat.
There's some big folks down there.
Offside, 56 defense.
Byron Evans.
Half the distance, repeat third down.
Still third down. You heard it.
Now, you know, Troy Aikman got Byron Evans on that one, Pat, on that hard count. You know, Evans was up there like he was going to blitz. You'll see it's right up there. You'll see Evans come up right there, and then he breaks the plane of the football, which is the neutral zone. He was trying to time that count. I think Aikman held the count a little and got Byron Evans into that neutral zone.
Stepnoski held the ball long enough. Of course, he knows what Aikman's count is. Evans doesn't. Third down.
Sometimes those centers have been known to snap it a little early, though, too.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you get a little edgy.
Yeah, and you just snap the ball and get yours, and then your guards and tackles aren't very fond of you.
3rd and 2. Smith is the lone setback. Handoff is to Emmett Smith, and I don't know. Touchdown, yes. He got in.
Good push by the middle of the line and good 3-yard dive by Emmett Smith.
That drive started all the way back at the Cowboy 15-yard line after the quick kick by Randall Cunningham.
And the Cowboys looked like the Cowboys the first time on that drive.
Aikman looked much less confused. Here is Novacek holding for Boniol's extra point, which is good. With that touchdown, Smith has now scored a touchdown in 8 straight games, setting a new Dallas Cowboy record. And we have a 7-7 tie, and what a game.
When you're the eyes and ears of 1 million people, you can't let your stomach get in the way.
The touchdown right there. There's a double team, Kennard, Stepnoski. But watch Darrell Johnston on that lead block there with Byron Evans. Now that is blocking. I mean, you're going to get the double team there, knock Harmon out. Watch that lead block. Stay with him, stay with him, stay with him. Del Emmett got it in the end zone. That is some blocking.
Boniol's kickoff goes to Vaughn Hebride. He's got a little alley, but the door shut at the other end of the alley. If you're looking for action and adventure, turn to Fox this Friday night and meet a new breed of superhero, Mantis, followed by the show USA Today calls excellent, thrilling, and terrifying, The X-Files. Tonight of all new episodes this Friday on Fox.
Yeah, I was saying that the Cowboys look more like the Cowboys on that drive, and they got the time of possession back, too. In the first quarter, the Eagles had it like 11 minutes something, and now in the second quarter, the Cowboys had it like 11 minutes or something.
Hennings and Lett are the defensive tackles now. Cunningham. Leon Lett in his face. And Cunningham is wild high. Calvin Williams, the intended receiver.
Yeah, we were talking about this. Look at the yards. The Eagles started off the first quarter 105 yards. Now they only have 104. I mean, while they were winning that first quarter, I had a feeling at that time that they didn't put up enough points. And usually those things come back to haunt you.
You said so. 2nd and 10. Cunningham again is hit, intercepted. I think that is Kenneth Gant. It could be Kevin Smith. It's Gant. Cunningham was pressured, and I don't think he ever saw Kenneth Gant.
Yeah, that's what the Cowboys do best. They stop you on first down. They get you in that 2nd and 3rd, those long yardage situations. And I don't think there's anyone in football that plays a nickel defense better than the Cowboys. When they have those extra backs in there, Kenny Ganton being one of those guys where he knows he has help deep, so that if he has help deep, he can cover Herschel Walker and run underneath him, which he did. Then celebrate like a shark.
First down, Dallas at the Eagle 35. Aikman back to throw it. Goes quickly to Harper. Incomplete. A flag on the play. McMillan.
I I don't know that you can call that pass interference. I think you have to give defensive backs the right to go for the ball, too. I'm sure they're going to call it against McMillan, but you'll see right here, Harper's going to come in and he's going to run a slant.
29 defense. First down.
McMillan's going in, just going for the ball. To me, you can't take that away from defensive backs. You have to let them do that. I mean, if they can't do that, they can't play. I mean, they have, when the ball's in the air, they have as much right to it as the offensive guy.
But before the ball got there, but as you say, you got to have a chance to catch the ball, both of you. The reverse to Kevin Williams. Fake to Emmitt Smith down to about the 15.
Heck of a play by Bill Romanowski. He has Nate Newton pulling out on him, and he made Nate Newton miss him. Watch him on the reverse. You're going to see Nate Newton come from here, and here's Romanowski. He has to make Newton miss and make the tackle. Watch, here comes big 61 Nate. There's Romanowski waiting for the collision, dodges a collision, makes a tackle.
It started with the idea.
Coming up on the Dockers halftime, James and Terry will have all the scores and highlights from around the league on this 7th week of the '94 NFL season. All coming up on the Dockers halftime. 2nd and 7 at Texas Stadium. Aikman fakes. There's a man wide open. It's Alvin Harper. The pump fake got him.
That was the 3rd or 4th time Troy Aikman pumped. That was a big part of their game plan for the Eagles, and they stayed with it because it didn't work the other time. That time he went for the pump, and 2 of the Eagles went for it. He gets 2 of them on this pump, Pat. And if you start motion to the right, he's going to throw it back here to the left. Gives him a hard count, looks pumped, and then comes back with it and just throws it right up over 2 defenders. So that first pump got 2 of them and kept them.
Novacek will hold if Bonio will try for the extra point. The Eagles dominated early, but now it's 14-7 Cowboys.
Part of it is pass protection. Part of it is a pump. Part of it is Alvin Harper. See the motion coming here. You can see Allen coming up. Now right there, he went for the pump. You see Eric Allen, he came up for the pump. Miano came up for the pump. He got 2 of them, and Harper just went right by him.
And Harper, who can jump, shows you one more time.
And you're surprised that you would get a guy like Eric Allen on that type of thing.
$1.99 over Target. We're cooking it, baby. We're cooking it.
Remember last week? They weren't cooking anything.
Well, they haven't got any company. They're cooking the Cowboys.
Yeah, they're bringing flames. You can cook outside the helmet, inside the helmet. Now, there is some stuff there. I mean, there's, you know what it is? I think it's Dove.
Whatever it is, it's dripping down into the fire and causing some flames.
That's the way it should be. It's going to start a grease fire out there. There was some jalapeno peppers in that one, too. Now, that's Texas barbecue there. It's starting to look like it.
You're making me hungry.
Let's get some of that. We got any stubs?
That's Hebron. Jeff Seidner, beg your pardon. Stopped by Derek Brownlow.
Yeah, talking about stubs here, Pat, this was something yesterday. Troy Aikman ordered 12 stubs, and those are sandwiches where they have egg, bacon, sausage, cheese, and everything else. And
Don't forget about the bread and butter.
Yeah, Texas bread, and he brought in 12 of them. Look at the state in the paper. That's kind of how it tasted. But you've never tasted anything, I'll guarantee you, huh?
Yeah, right.
Until you tasted a stub.
Neither one of us have been able to walk since then.
No, it's great. I could go for another one right now after seeing that barbecue.
On first down, Cunningham gets to Garner. Robert Jones, Darren Smith right there.
Like Charles Haley made a play.
Haley also.
Well, they're trying to frustrate him. They've been running at him. They've been doubling him. They've been doing everything to him. One thing about Charles Haley, he has no quit in him. I mean, he is going to be there and keep fighting you and battling in you until he gets his way.
Whatever the game is, it might be dominoes.
Oh yeah, he's the domino champion of this team, but he's a football champion too when it comes to rushing the passer.
Second down, about 12. Cunningham on the hop, incomplete. This guy looks like a wrestling referee. Count them out.
You know, it's funny about sync, isn't it? How the Eagles had sync,
yep,
and the Cowboys didn't have any sync. And then the Cowboys got in sync, and then the Eagles have lost their sync.
That's what those sandwiches we had have a lot of. Sync.
A lot of sync. Here, the ball just came in on one hop to Calvin Williams.
Third down. 19 seconds left. 13 yards to go. James Joseph, the deep back with 4 wide receivers. Cunningham gets to Joseph. He'll have an Eagle first down, but that also will just about run the Eagles out of time. They have 1 timeout remaining.
And they're going to take it probably just to take one shot here with 6 seconds and either try and complete something or get a defensive penalty. I think that was kind of smart, really, to run the clock out here. I think they had things going. They've lost it. And you don't want to do something dumb at the end of the half where you give the Cowboys another one here.
Alvin Harper with that bandage on his chin where he landed face first on the artificial surface.
Well, you know, I mean, Alvin Harper could probably jump higher than anyone in this league, and he did on that play and landed on his chin. That's a bad part about jumping high. I always thought of that, you know, watching Michael Jordan and stuff, how those guys could jump so high, then they have to come down. Of course, if you had a lot of weight, then you couldn't jump that high, so you wouldn't have to be worried about landing with that much weight.
Well,
maybe that's why.
A couple of good points there.
Yeah, maybe that's why fat guys can't jump high.
I think there are other reasons. Cunningham back to throw it. Go for a bunch. Pass is picked off by Washington. This is going to run out of time in the first half. James Washington says goodbye. They'll head for the locker rooms with the Cowboys after being down, back leading by a touchdown. That's the end of the first half with the score 14-7 Dallas. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station.
In space, no one can hear you say,
"Go!" Fox NFL Sunday.
Gonna take time.
Don't just get dressed. Get Dockers.
All right, welcome to the Dockers halftime. The battle for the NFC East lead down in Dallas. The Cowboys lead at 14-7.
Good job. First quarter, all Philadelphia. The league's leader in time of possession holds the ball 11 minutes, and this is a 32-yard TD reception. Eagles up 7 over the Cowboys.
And then Emmitt Smith dives over 8th consecutive game with a touchdown. That sets a new Cowboys record. And the Cowboys lead by the score of 14-7. That down at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. All right, moving along now. New York Giants and the Rams. The Rams lead this one 17-10 at the half.
Isaac Curtis, quick post. Safeties can't get there. Strong arm. Miller gets it in. Rams up over the Giants 7-0 right there.
He's thinking Isaac Curtis because you played back during that time, but that was Isaac Bruce, but we'll take that one anyway.
Thanks for correcting me,
You got it.
Every now and then I do make a mistake.
Looking out for my guy. 17-10 as Rams lead it there. Okay, there was supposed to be a war down in Atlanta. No case. 49ers win at 42-3. It was a war of words, though. Deion Sanders and Andre Rison, and they let it be known before the game, no love lost between the two.
I mean, if it was possible, I would love to everyone else to get off the field so we could just go at it one-on-one. Yeah, I mean, I'm that kind of guy.
I never said anything derogatory towards Deion, you know, and if he has a personal vendetta against me or a problem with me, the hell with him. Right. You know, and if he want to go one-on-one, we can go one-on-one all day.
Well,
it's very unfortunate that two guys like us should get in a fight like that. I'm sorry. I mean, I think it's mutual. Both of us was wrong, and that's crazy. It takes away from the matchup. But I apologize.
Well, the matchup was all San Francisco's 42-3 over the Falcons. And down in New Orleans, you know it's going to be a tough day when Morton Anderson misses 2 field goals, 3 touchdown runs by Natron Means, and the Chargers, yes, are spanking the Saints 27-7. More in a bit.
All right, hold your horses.
Me?
George, what you been up to, pal? I haven't seen you for a while.
Been on strike. Got the idea from those baseball guys.
Yeah, well, it works so well for them.
I told those guys at Fox, I said, I'm not coming back unless I get a big raise, my own trailer, Heather Locklear, plus one of those really cool Fox keychains.
So what'd you get? All right.
All right.
The George Carlin Show, tonight after Married with Children.
What does it take to win 2 Super Bowls in a row? I'll show you. That's me, Emmitt Smith of the world champion Dallas Cowboys, MVP of Super Bowl.
Welcome back to the Dockers halftime. Heath Schuler's 5 interceptions didn't help the Redskins, who lost in overtime to the Cardinals. Berline, a happy man, back at the helm.
Oh, great observation, JB. I love it when you spot stuff like that. Young Heath Schuler, though, he spots Brian Mitchell under the linebackers who had dropped deep, makes the catch, 46 yards, skins up by 7. Berline, bat, Pruill, end zone. Catch it, yes. Feet down, yes. Ball stolen, yes. Who cares, TD? Cardinals tie it, go into overtime.
And in overtime, Todd Peterson boots home the 29-yarder. That helped the Cardinals to the victory, improving to 2-4. Another overtime affair in Miami. Dolphins fumble the ball here. Anthony Smith picks up the fumble, rumbles 24 yards to pay dirt. Raiders lead at 7-0.
Yeah, but back comes Marino. He finds Keith Jackson on a post route. Safeties can't get over. Linebackers are too shallow, and that puts Miami behind 7. Now, I love this. Look at this. Hostetler going at it with Shell. Shell said, sit your butt down.
But he put him back in, and he found Tim Brown for the 8-yard strike. Raiders lead at 17-10 at that point.
Yep, 17-10. It's all tied up. In comes Stoyanovich. There's your field goal, 29 yards. Miami beats Raiders.
Hey, maybe the Bills were afraid of that sign.
I don't know about this, but Kenneth Davis, he's not afraid of the Colts. Nice run here. Little, what is that, like a 13-yard run? Kenneth Davis, TCU grad.
That'll do it. Jim Harbaugh was looking awfully good. 18 of 22, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns as he finds Kerry Cash for the score, and it's 27-17. All right, another score is a pass along to you. The Jets on the feet of Johnny Johnson's 122 yards up in the Patriots 24-17. And Cincinnati came close, but close is only good in horseshoes. They fall to Pittsburgh by the score of 14-10. More after this.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
Is brought to you by MCI, proof positive.
What they did, it's a play pass. There's Herschel Walker. He's going to catch the pass. But before that, it's a great fake to James Joseph by Cunningham and Joseph. See, that held the whole Cowboy defense. They all came to the inside. Herschel catches the ball. Now watch him right there. He goes out of bounds before he gets to the end zone, but they still gave him a touchdown.
Nevertheless, it was called a touchdown. John, the complexion of the game changed so drastically between first quarter and second quarter. Was that a matter of just the Cowboys figuring out, or what?
Yeah, I think it was part of that. I mean, the first quarter, Randall Cunningham was 6 out of 8. He was sharp. Then he went like 0 for 7. The first quarter, Charlie Gardner ran for 44 yards. In the second quarter, he was -5. So those are the things the Eagles have to do. They have to get Randall Cunningham back where he's completing passes. I think they have to get Charlie Gardner back where he's running the ball. And then, of course, for the Cowboys, they just have to not do what they did in the first quarter, but do what they did in the second quarter.
Let's have a look at those first half statistics, John. Rushing yards, they were totally opposite. This is first quarter.
As like you say, the Eagles won the first quarter. I mean, time of possession, first downs, everything. The Cowboys couldn't do anything. And then when you go into the second quarter, everything just flips around. Now in the second quarter, the Eagles didn't do anything. Plus the big thing here is they had those two turnovers, and that'll kill you against this Cowboy team. And then that gave the Cowboys life. Troy Aikman got things going, started getting the ball to those outside receivers, Emmitt Smith, and, you know, all the Cowboy things that we know about.
Kenny Gant got the interception. The Cowboys got into the end zone. Aikman to Harper, and they lead 14-7. Kevin Williams chasing it down, tries to stay in bounds, can't. I think he must have thought he had more room than he did. He's disgusted with himself. And have a look at Aikman by quarter.
Well, that first quarter for Troy Aikman was probably one of the worst quarters he's ever had, maybe in his life. He was 0 for 7, and I mean 0 for 4, no yards, no TDs, 1 interception. Then in the second quarter, he got to be Troy Aikman, 7 out of 10, 95 yards, and a touchdown pass. But I think that first quarter, Bud Carson and the calls that he made kept the Cowboys off balance.
First and 10, Dallas at their own 10 after Kevin Williams ran out of bounds. Aikman puts Novacek in motion. Hands off to Emmitt Smith. And he is hit just as he approaches the line of scrimmage. Well, Bud Carson said Emmitt Smith's the best second half runner he's ever seen. He'll have a chance to prove that.
Watch William Perry here. When he starts to come in there, you just can't stop him from going in there. I mean, he is so big in that middle. They double team him. He just splits and breaks the double team, and then Emmitt tries to cut back into Perry. And you can't do that. You can't run at the refrigerator and make a living, nor can you cut back into him.
I don't care if he is heavy or what he looks like. Aikman gets the ball to Novacek, who drops it, but there's a flag on the play. Byron Evans firing up the middle on a blitz. Started to say, regardless of what you think of William Perry's weight, that was one heck of a play he made.
Offside, 51 defense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
William Thomas, the Eagle, offside. So the Cowboys will add 5 and make it 2nd and 5.
Because if William Perry doesn't want to go one way, you're not going to make him go one way. Even when you have a big guy like Nate Newton and a good blocker like Mark Stepnoski, well, even when you have him double teamed, if he doesn't want to go where you're going to take him, he's not going there.
On second down, Aikman back to throw it. Pumps, goes deep for Irvin, incomplete. The pump didn't get him in time.
No, that had to be a big part of this Cowboy game plan, because Troy Aikman is probably pumped as much as I've ever seen. You see Jackson here, he's pointing, he said, there's Irvin. Now, he's going to help. See, McMillan has him on the outside. Jackson's taking him on the inside. See, they call that a banjo. They had him banjoed. He really fooled Jackson, but he didn't fool McMillan. See, when Jackson had him on the inside, Irvin gave him that move to the inside. That held Jackson.
So it's 3rd and 5. And a timeout called by the Cowboys. So they'll have 2 left in the second half. 3rd and 5, Cowboys at their own 15. They lead by a touchdown.
The new Porsche 911 Carrera was crash tested in this secluded building. To Gerhard Royce, who tunes the radical new suspension. To Ivanka Madsen, who stitches a cabriolet top that takes 14 hours to make. And to Stepan Rebrovich, who builds the more powerful engine by hand. This building was the perfect place for these crash tests. Why? Because it meant they didn't have to watch.
Here's to the Cowboy, still a modern-day hero, standing up for what's right as he rides across this land. He still earns every dollar to pass through his hands. Here's to the cowboy as he heads for the mountains. No place he'd rather be than right here. So come on along and head for the mountains of Bush.
Buy any McDonald's extra value meal and supersize it for more fries and more drink. Plus, get a super ticket that could win you a trip to the Super Bowl. Watch Fox NFL Sunday during pregame to match and win.
Free Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah, where's the support in that?
First in line for supersize.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Porsche. Imagine the thrill of having to commute day after day after day. By the NASDAQ stock market, the stock market for the next 100 years. And by smooth Busch beer and easy drinking Busch Light.
Back at Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden, 3rd and 5. Cowboys ball at their own 15. A flag on the play. Aikman got away from Perry, doesn't get away from Fuller, but a penalty marker down. Somebody to his left, the quarterback's left, move.
I tell you, and Bill Romanowski got out there and took away that pattern. He was trying to throw that quickly out here to his right to Michael Irvin. Romanowski got out there. He couldn't throw it.
93 defense, offside, 5 yards, first down.
Greg Townsend. 2 penalties against the Eagles get the Cowboys a first down at the 20.
And it was really a good defense because they called the defense and disguised it, and Aikman darn near threw right into it, but he's too smart to be trapped in that one.
Novacek is the move man. Here's Aikman to Emmitt Smith. Chased by Townsend, and Smith skates out of bounds after getting a first down. That's his longest run of the day. Second half.
And with that run, Emmitt Smith just went ahead of Don Perkins as a second all-time rusher of the Dallas Cowboys.
Behind Tony Dorsett.
Tony Dorsett was here a week ago. They put he and Randy White in the Ring of Honor. He went in the Hall of Fame this year.
Big year for Tony.
Not a bad guy to be behind.
That Smith hit hard by Greg Jackson.
Yeah, that's what these coordinators do. You start running on them, they give you that 8-man front. Now, how do you get to an 8-man front? You have your 4 linemen, and then you just have your 3 linebackers, and you just bring your safety up, and that gives you 8 men up there. In fact, they have another one. They have 9 men up. So there's no way that you're going to run against that. Wherever you go, there's going to be an extra tackler.
2nd and 11. This time Jackson is back deep. Greg Jackson back deep in the middle. They'll rush 4 or maybe a blitz. Here comes a linebacker. And Aikman gets it to Novacek, and it's incomplete.
You're talking about Greg Jackson. He's really made some big plays today, and I know that the Eagles feel that their defense has improved, and 2 of the reasons are the 2 safeties, Greg Jackson and Michael Zordich. The job that they've done against the pass and the run. I mean, they can play when you run. Those are 2 tough guys who can play like linebackers.
And, of course, they're very proud of the acquisition of Bill Romanowski and of William Fuller.
Yeah, Fuller has his hands full today going against Eric Williams. Right tackle, who I think is one of the best in the game.
On 3rd down, Aikman pumps again. Has to throw it away. Nobody came open. Kevin Williams was the closest Cowboy receiver.
And Eric Williams and William Fuller are still going at it back there. They're still blocking, but just watch. If we can just watch Eric Williams and just see how good he is. Here he is. Here's Williams. Here's Fuller. But Eric Williams is about 330 pounds, and he's quick. I mean, he's so big, so strong. You see Fuller tries to give him arm over like nothing. I mean, Williams just sticks to him. He's just too big and strong for him.
Can't get rid of him.
He's the best. Eric Williams is the best.
Jet back to punt. Another good kick. Jeff Seidner his feet, still spinning. Gets to about the 34, where the Eagles will take over right there. We're in the third quarter with 12:19 left, and the Cowboys up by 7.
Reinhold Bertlev had a key role in the building of Porsche's new 911 Carrera. Did he design the engine? The radical suspension? No. Instead, Reinhold and his co-workers have perhaps the best job in the world. They test drive every new 911 on the Autobahn. If Reinhold likes your car, we're pretty sure you'll like your car.
Yesterday, Reginald was in an unusual hurry.
Yes.
Martin here.
West Indies just won.
How on earth do you know?
It's on my computer. You owe me $5. Old sport.
Cricket? How can you have a sport named after a bug?
So I didn't notice my wife got her hair cut, so she said...
You never noticed anything.
I noticed the cheeseburgers at Burger King have 75% more beef than McDonald's. They come with fries and a drink for only $1.89. So she said, maybe you should go live there.
Burger King. Get your burger's worth.
From across the seas, Beck's delivers the grand tradition and taste of the German art of brewing. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
For the first time ever, Cops hits the streets of New York. Meet the real NYPD Blue.
Put your hand right there. Get down.
On a 1-hour special, Thursday at 9, 8 Central.
Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead the Eagles 14-7.
You know, if you look at Randall Cunningham's distribution, you see that he's only thrown one ball, or completed one ball to a wide receiver. And that was Calvin Williams. Fred Barnett hasn't caught a pass yet, and I think if the Eagles are going to stretch this defense or get this Cowboy defense to loosen up, I think Fred Barnett has to get involved in this game, or Randall Cunningham has to get Fred Barnett involved in it.
That's Calvin Williams in motion. And Fred Barnett was the intended receiver. Larry Brown was the nearest defender.
Yeah, and that's what they have to get the ball to Fred Barnett, and you watch Randall Cunningham in the first quarter. He was 6 out of 11, 71 yards and a touchdown, and then he just went cold. In the second quarter, of course, he didn't have the ball as much, but he didn't complete a pass, and he has to get back to that rhythm that he had going in the first quarter.
Garner is the lone back. 2 tight ends for the Eagles. Maurice Johnson was the man in motion, chased by Haley, chased out of the pocket. Cunningham gets rid of it. And that's got to be a flag. Robert Jones ran into the intended receiver, Charlie Garner. He never saw the ball. Jones didn't.
No, he was probably beaten, or Gardner made a move on him, and then he just had to turn and run. And of course, that's what happens when the quarterback scrambling.
55 defense. First down.
When a quarterback scrambles as a defender downfield, then you have to stay with your guy longer. Watch now, here comes Garner out of here. Now when Cunningham scrambles, he's buying time. So now instead of Garner running a short pattern, he turns up and he goes up the field. Jones says, I got to go find him, and he just ran right into him. You can't even argue that one.
Cunningham gives to Garner. He is hit right at the line of scrimmage. James Washington and Russell Merron converge.
That's the other thing. You know, we talk about the safeties of the Eagles. I think it's the same thing with the safeties of this Cowboy team with Woodson and Washington. You know, if you have to take away that run, you get that 8th guy up, and that 8th guy is a safety. And when he can tackle well, then you can get a big run stop.
2nd and 11. Walker now is the lone setback. Cunningham back to throw it. Gonna have time this time. Going deep for Barnett. Incomplete. Brown with the coverage.
That was a good play by Barnett, Pat. He had to turn into a defender there. I think he had Larry Brown beaten by a step. Cunningham throws this ball short. You see, Barnett could have gotten by him, but he had to stop and come back and then turn into a defender to knock that ball out of Larry Brown's hand. That would have been an interception.
That's good coverage by Brown. As you said, Cunningham underthrew it just a bit. Sometimes they do that on purpose.
But I think Barnett was going for the end zone, and if Cunningham had thrown it there, it would have been interesting.
A blitz. Chased by Hennings. Down goes Cunningham. Flag on the play.
I think Cunningham knew that he had a free play there too, Pat. That looks like that someone jumped. Maybe he thought he had a free play, and maybe it was against the Eagles, but there was some kind of offsides there because they were jumping before that ball was snapped.
On both sides, but I think the Cowboys first.
94 defense, neutral zone infraction, 5 yards, repeat third down.
Here's Charles Haley right there. Now the neutral zone again is a length of the football. You see, if you get in that right there, there was about 4 or 5 of them in there. Haley was just the deepest of them.
The leader.
Yeah, they were all there before that ball was snapped. One thing Charles will do is he tries to get a jump on that snap, and he'll sometimes anticipate.
It's third down, about 6. Walker on the move, and Cunningham will put it up. Comes out of there, does Randall Cunningham, and a flag on the play back at the line of scrimmage. He's gotten far beyond the first down marker, but a flag on the play.
Boy, did Charles Haley make her move on Bernard Williams that time. You wonder why Cunningham scrambled to the right. It was because of the move that Haley made on Williams. I don't think he's going to be here and take an inside move, and that'll make a quarterback scramble anytime.
10 yards, repeat third down.
That's holding, that's tackling, that's whatever you want to call it.
And that's what caused Cunningham to go right, but Bernard Williams was beaten so badly and so quickly by Charles Haley that he had to do something, and the last resort was tackle him.
And that's what he did. And it's still third down. Excuse me.
That's what Haley brings to you. I mean, Haley causes havoc. He's like a bull in a china closet. I mean, he just runs in and just stuff happens.
Joseph is the lone setback, and Cunningham back to throw it. That's going to be picked off. Darren Woodson. He had 2 interceptions last week, and he picks up another one this week. Woodson brings it back to the Eagles 31. Cunningham going backwards, let it go.
And Darren Woodson is turning into one of the best safeties in this league. We've always known he's always been a hitter, but now he's a coverage guy and making interceptions and making all kinds of plays. Darren Woodson is all over the field. But again, it starts with pressure. And Cunningham had pressure the play before. Here he's getting it from Haley again. You see, Haley was right at his feet. He couldn't step with that left foot. He didn't have anything on it. You see, watch that. You see, he couldn't step and follow through. So that took just enough off the ball that let Darren Woodson get over there and jump in front of James Joseph.
First down, Cowboys at the Eagle 31. And the handoff is to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt Smith bangs down inside the 20. To about the 19, first down. Greg Jackson made the stop.
I think Robert Jones is thanking Woodson for that interception because Jones was the guy that had the penalty that put the Eagles in pretty good field position. But the Cowboys are starting to get control of this game. I mean, you can feel the guys on the bench getting control of it. You can feel these guys that are on the field that they're getting control of this game.
First and 10 for Dallas at the Eagle 19. Emmitt Smith to the 15. He was down. The ball came loose, but he was down. Art Demas standing there pointing. Bring it back.
Yeah, he could have had one more cutback. He could have gone out one more man here when he cuts back to the right because Eric Williams gets a pretty good block there, and he just gets tripped up.
That ball came loose on the way down. That was loose.
But I think maybe he got it back, though.
Maybe he did.
Yeah, that ball did come out before he went down, but it looked like he grabbed it before anyone else got it.
Second and 6. He would try Emmett again. Not much. Mike Flores made the stop on Emmitt Smith.
You know, all these running plays that Emmitt Smith runs is basically one play. It's a lead draw.
Yep.
Gerald Johnston is a lead blocker, and they just hand the ball deeply to Emmitt Smith, and he runs what they call pick-a-hole.
3rd and 5. They run in 3 wide receivers this time, including Kevin Williams. He's in one slot. Harper's in the slot to the left, and Novacek to the right. Smith is behind Aikman. Touchdown, Novacek.
Right, and Troy Aikman put that ball in there. Holy moly, that is an all-pro pass. Talk about chunking it in there. You watch this chunk. He looks here. He's going to find him right there. He gets that ball up there and decides, and he puts the heat on it there. Whew.
That ball didn't take long to get there. Bonio's extra point is good. It's 21-7. 8:40 left in the 3rd quarter. Aikman to Novacek.
Thomas doesn't have a chance.
Has scored 21 straight points. In total yards, the Cowboys now have the edge, 185 to 114. Cunningham and the Eagles have had 4 turnovers. Bonio's kick sails down to Vaughn Hebron. Down at about the 25. Bill Bates. How long has he been doing that? Before he was the specialist, Sylvester Stallone starred in the mother of all comedies. Estelle Getty co-stars in Stop or My Mom Will Shoot on the Fox Tuesday night movie beginning at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Here is, speaking of specialist, how long's number 40 been doing that?
I think he's been doing it forever. Forever a cowboy, forever a tough guy, forever an emotional leader. Whatever football is all about, I think Bill Bates is a pretty good definition.
This is Garner. Charlie Garner. Tripped up by Dixon Edwards.
You see, that's the way they started the game. That's what they had to get back to. I mean, this is what Charlie Garner gives them. I mean, he'll get in there, he'll tighten that defense up, because if you give him any looseness, if you give him any holes, you just have to block a few, he'll make moves on the rest and get the ball upfield. I know, it's a dilemma for Rich Kotite, because the guy has an injury. You don't want to play him too much. You don't want to run him too much. But if you don't play him and run him, you can't win.
He's out of the game right now. Herschel Walker's the deep back. Here's Cunningham back to throw it. Swings it outside to Barnett. Barnett pays the price. Hit by Darren Smith.
This Darren Smith is really becoming a linebacker. I mean, he's becoming a force for this Cowboy defense. It seems like he was playing last year as a rookie, and he was just kind of there, just did his job. And I've noticed in the last couple of games, I mean, he's blitzing and making hits. We saw that. He's making hits downfield. He's making hits on special teams. It seems like wherever the ball is, Darren Smith is starting to get pretty close to it.
2nd and 3. You're so right. All 3 of those linebackers really playing well. Here's Cunningham, and the Cowboys in a blitz, and the ball is batted down. A flag on the play. Leon Lett was saying I was held, and the big cat might have been.
Well, the guy that was right there with Cunningham was Tony Tolbert. You got Haley coming from one side, Tolbert from the other side. Big cat Leon Lett up the middle. Russell Maryland up the middle. This is becoming a tough front 4.
And when they get tired, Chad Hennings has developed.
Offense, 10 yards, repeat 2nd down.
Broderick Thompson Call for holding.
Here's Leon Lett there. He was the one that complaining. But it was Broderick Thompson right up here that does the holding. And he was trying to hold Tony Tolbert. And Tolbert was the guy who put the pressure on.
And it was Lett who batted the ball down.
Watch him. He comes right here. Tolbert worked right through that pressure. And Leon Lett batted the ball down, as you say.
2nd and 13. Cunningham chased by Kenneth Gant in his face and Chad Hennings, who caved things in.
So 2 years ago, remember when the Cowboys used to play that nickel defense and they would play Woodson and Gant? They were so tough on him. Then Gant got hurt. Woodson got hurt. Now they got him back. And now it's not only the front four, but here comes Kenny Gant again. You see, he's coming from that outside. He made Cunningham throw the ball, and then he knocked it down with his left hand. There's another guy who's getting to be all over the place. It's Kenny Gant.
He can get excited for you. 3rd and 13. And Cunningham takes a timeout.
Now they got him where they want him.
6:54 left in the 3rd quarter. Dallas 21-7.
Life is a series of roadways. And if you want to get anywhere, you've got to get off that bench and play, move into that merging lane. So you check your mirror. But an 18-wheeler with 30 tons of persuasion is saying, oh no, sister, you're not coming in here. Should you go? Stay? You point your big toe to the floor. You go. 275 horses and a 32-valve V8 respond, I am engine, hear me roar.
In the 80s, a lot of companies invested their pension funds in questionable real estate. Unfortunately, that's life. In the 80s, we invested most of our pension funds in investment-grade bonds. That's New York Life. New York Life, the company you keep.
Oh, hi. Elvira here, finding great horror movies for the Coors Light Flick or Treat giveaway. Coors! Huh? We're giving away 50,000 videos, like the giant Gila monster, the wasp woman, or the brain that wouldn't die. Don't just stand there. Look for me this Halloween in a shocking display of specially marked Coors packages with film clips inside that tell you if you won. The Coors Light Flick or Treat giveaway. It'll be a scream.
Before he was the specialist, Sylvester Stallone was in the mother of all action comedies. Stop!
Or my mom will shoot!
Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, where safety, reliability, performance, and value are never optional.
Back at Texas Stadium, Dallas leading Philadelphia 21-17. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 3rd and 13 for the Eagles. Again, Haley jumped. Long count by Cunningham, and Haley jumped.
Yeah, the Eagles started out and they had things going their own way, but look at their last 5 possessions.
Whoa, this one is against the Eagles. Called against Cunningham.
Yeah, they'll do that. They still have that head bobbing rule, but look what happened. They had one, they had a quick kick, then they had interception, and then of course we have this series coming up here. Randall Cunningham started the game out. Remember, he was 6 for 8.
Right.
And then he's gone since then. Since he was 6 for 8, he's gone 1 for 12.
3rd and 18. James Joseph behind Cunningham. Back to throw it. Forced up into the pocket. Gets it out to Victor Bailey in midfield, but not enough to pick up a first down. Larry Brown on the coverage.
At some point, this Dallas defense is going to start really getting some credit as being one of the good defenses in football. They have the statistics. They're #1 in the league, and they're starting to play like that.
That's Broderick Thompson, who is down.
Again, you see here, they just have a 3-man rush. They're playing a prevent type of defense. They only got 3 guys coming, but when one of the 3 is Charles Haley, he'll still get back there and make that quarterback do something.
That's Broderick Thompson, who's down. 21-7, Cowboys lead the Eagles.
Get there, get there! Taco Bell presents the Crunch Zone.
Down in the dirt and get nasty. Let's go.
Last Sunday was filled with the sound and fury of big sticks and hard hits. Stay tuned for the bruising best of Week 6 in the Crunch Zone.
Brace yourself, boys, the earth's gonna shake. New Taco Bell burritos called Rancho Steak. Just 99 cents each with marinated steak and pepper jack cheese. With jalapeno beans and seasoned rice and real cheddar cheese. Taco Bell. Just 99. But the Rancho Steak burritos for a limited time, so cross the border.
In Dallas, the Cardinals were crushed by an avalanche of knockdowns and knockouts. The Cowboys rolled 38-3 as Buddy Ball bombed big time in Big D in the Crunch Zone.
That is 5 interceptions today.
You've got to be strong. To win, you've got to be smart. Maybe you can be one of us. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Catch the season premiere of The George Carlin Show.
Hey, pal. How's it feel to be back?
Hey, I'd rather scrape a tattoo off of Roseanne.
Tonight after Married with Children.
6:35 left in the 3rd quarter at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead the Eagles 21-7. Brian Barker back to punt. Kevin Williams back deep. Barker gets off a good kick. Bounds into the end zone. Next Sunday, Fox NFL Sunday begins at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, with the hottest 1-hour pregame show on television. Then it's Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader action at 1 o'clock Eastern. Chicago battles Detroit. The Rams take on the Saints. And the Redskins face the Colts. Then at 4 Eastern, John and I will be in Arizona as the Cardinals take on these Cowboys. In the other late games, the Falcons travel to Los Angeles to face the Raiders, and Tampa Bay squares off against San Francisco. Check your local listings for the game in your area next Sunday right here on Fox Sports. Dennis Smith. Stopped by Michael Zordich, the safety man.
Now, we had the game last week against the Cardinals, and then this week, and then next week against the Cardinals. The last 2 games, they've outscored their opponents 93-17. So the Cowboys are an offensive machine with a #1 defense. That's not a bad combination.
That'll keep you playing in January. Second and a couple. And Emmitt Smith didn't quite get it. William Perry.
Yeah, did you see Nate Newton? He was mad. He got up and clapped his hands because he's the guy. That's Nate against Perry. And you don't like to see your guy get off. Here's Nate, and you see here's Perry. Now he has to get him blocked. You see him drive into him, and Perry just turned him. He just turned my man Nate, just threw him right to the ground, and then came in and made that play. You get Nate going one way, Nate's going to go that way too.
Nate in the fridge. They hard to change direction. That's Emmitt Smith. He'll have the first down. Stopped by Romanowski and Evans.
And here's where you need it. If you just watch what it looks like in the middle of the line, once that ball snapped, see guys fire out. The first guy out stepped Noski. Then everyone in the left moves. Then you stay low. You get under your guy. See, everyone get underneath the shoulder pad. Drive those legs. Take them where they want to go. And Emmett is going to find a hole. Mark Stepnoski got hurt on that play, and you know he had that bad knee, Pat. He had that total knee reconstruction.
He was holding his right knee, but he came back from knee surgery last year when a lot of people thought he was through playing. Now it's his ankle that he's pointing to.
Hey, I think that, you know, that offensive line is probably the best offensive line in football, and Mark Stepnoski of that group could be the most underrated and maybe one of the most productive. He has braces on both legs, but let's take another look. Here's Mark Stepnoski, the center. Now one thing that he has is he has leverage. You see him get underneath. He gets underneath. He drives. Now at the end right there, you see his leg gets caught, and it looks like the pile is going to come down on his left leg. That's a tough thing about being in the center.
Yeah.
You know, you're the center of everything, including piles.
And you hope it's not his knee. And I don't think it is. I'm not going to be able to tell from this distance. No, certainly, but you hope not.
Yeah, the thing that I've noticed, if a guy has had a knee and he gets another one, I was just going to say, he usually throws his helmet.
Hellestray has replaced him. Dale Hellestray. And Aikman back to throw it and going deep for Harper. Made the catch. Flags on the play. Harper made the catch, but I think this penalty is going to be against him, and Aikman is slow getting up.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he was really unloaded upon. I mean, there's flags down here, but where was Aikman hit as he threw that ball? You wonder why a quarterback has to be big and a quarterback has to be strong, is to take hits like that.
Twice by Fuller.
I mean, he really put that one on him.
It's against Harper. I thought it was.
One thing everyone complains about Cowboy wide receivers pushing off, not as much Harper as Michael Irvin, but you watch him here as he's making a move. He was going to go out and up. Allen is just going with him. McMillan is going with him, I mean, and then he gets that push. He pushed him with that left hand.
Number 80, offense, 10 yards in the previous spot, a deep first down.
Yeah, what he tried to do was get Mark McMillan and just push him beyond him with that left hand and then come up and catch the ball short. See him push him right there? Then he was going to come back and go up and catch it. That was a good call by the officials.
The word on Stepnoski is that it's his left ankle. And whether or not he'll return is questionable. Left ankle. Here's Aikman back to throw it. Gets it to Novacek. Andy Harmon. Byron Evans.
Stepnoski has a lot of stuff on there. I mean, he got that knee brace. Then he got an ankle brace. You see, they took the shoe off. Now they're taking the ankle brace off.
The Eagles' Broderick Thompson has gone to the locker room. It's a groin problem with him, and now he's coming back out. They retaped it. Broderick. Aikman. Irvin. I don't know how, but that pass is complete to Michael Irvin.
That's just all body. That's what you can do when you're as big and as strong as Michael Irvin is, and he does that as well as anyone, is use his body. And Troy Aikman knows it. He knows if he gets that ball out there and it just gets to be a jump ball or a fight for the ball, that Michael Irvin is going to come up with the biggest share of them.
With that catch, he's now moved into 4th place on the Cowboys' all-time receiving list. He just passed Bullet Bob Hayes. First down, Dallas. Galbraith in motion. Aikman gets to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt Smith to midfield. Greg Jackson and William Perry make the stop.
Eric Williams knocked William Fuller down and wouldn't let him up. He knocked him down, and then he stood above him, and he just wouldn't let him up. I think that's for the Troy Aikman thing, but watch Eric Williams here when he's going to hit Fuller. And then after he hits him, he's going to knock him down. You see him come in there, right there. He's going to knock him down, and then he's going to stay with him, and he's not going to let him get up.
I think if he said don't get up, I wouldn't get up.
Well, I think he saw him hit Aikman when he threw it to Harper, and he didn't want Fuller to do any more of that today.
This is Emmitt Smith again. That's very nearly the first down. Romanowski made the stop. 1:45 left to play in the third quarter. Dallas leads by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, if you watch him, here's the same thing. I think that Eric Williams has decided that Fuller isn't going to make any more plays today. And he's going to block him until that whole thing over. And Fuller just wants to fight him until it goes. And they're going to be down, and he's going to take a takedown, and then he's going to get a pin. That was about a 5-count pin.
And Fuller has come out.
Eric Williams had about enough of Fuller today. You aren't getting there anymore.
Here's Aikman. Swings it out to Darrell Johnston. Johnston out of bounds at the 31-yard line of Philadelphia. Zordich knocked him out of bounds.
I'll tell you, I think Eric Williams did everything to Fuller that you can do. And that's what you like in an offensive lineman. That you don't have to be passive to be an offensive lineman. And that's what Eric Williams brings to this offensive line of the Cowboys, a defensive mentality, a certain toughness that you can take control of a game.
And when your quarterback gets hit like Fuller hit Aikman, you retaliate. A flag on the play. Romanowski in to stop Emmitt Smith, but a flag downfield. Tell you what, it's very humid. It has been all day. It's so humid, in fact, it's raining.
It just burst. I like wind chill better than humidity.
Offside. 96 defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards. Repeat first down.
Just watch. Here's Williams again, and this has nothing to do with the penalty, but just when he gets into the point that, you know, that he's had enough, and he's going to use his toughness, and he's in a groove now that he's just darn near with one punch. He's just knocking guys out. I mean, he's knocking guys to their back, and then he's jumping on them and punching them and doing about everything you can to a defensive guy.
And his elbow's hurt. He's not 100%.
Yeah, and then you just kind of take a knee and have someone hose you down.
Michael Zordich is the Eagle player who's down. That looks like a cramp.
Yeah, well, you were talking about that humidity. And the humidity brings the sweat, then the sweat brings the dehydration. What about sweat? Eric Williams there, when you weigh 330 pounds.
6'6", 6'7".
You're going to get a lot of sweat, and that rain coming down helps. I tell you, he did take control, Eric Williams.
He really did.
I've never seen too many efforts like that where a guy just said, okay, enough, we're playing a nice game here, and you want to do that, we'll make a fight and or a wrestling match out of it.
That would be a cramp for Zordich. At the end of the game, John and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game, and right now that's going to be a tough pick.
I don't know. I'm really impressed with the way Troy Aikman has hung in there today. You know, the way he started and had a slower start and then got things going and kind of kept them going. And he's taken some shots. He took some shots last week, and he's taken some shots today. And I'm sure that he's a guy that is very, very happy that the score is 21-7 now, because the thing that Troy Aikman hates is a wet football.
He really has difficulty throwing a wet ball. I don't know who doesn't, but he seems to have more trouble.
Well, it plays with his head. I think everyone
at least
does,
he thinks
but
he does.
It bothers him more than anyone.
That's Emmitt Smith. Down to about the Eagle 20. Stopped by Romanowski and Jackson.
That Michael Zordich has one of the worst cramps I've ever seen. They just can't get that thing to uncramp.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score Dallas 21, Philadelphia 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox. Rain at Texas Stadium as the Cowboys lead the Eagles 21-7. One more quarter to play.
And when you weigh 340 pounds like Derek Kennard, you don't try and dodge it. You just walk right in it and let it hit you. And that probably feels about as good as
feels good.
Anything has today. He wants more. He's trying to drink
have a drink of it. Irvin is out to the left. Aikman to Emmett Smith. And Emmett to about the 17, stopped by William Thomas.
You know, the Eagles are running an interesting defense here, Pat, and they've done it some today. They only have 3 defensive backs in there, 4 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, and 3 defensive backs. They take Mark McMillan out. They figure they're going to run. They don't need any defensive backs in there, so they have an extra linebacker in there. So they're playing them in a 4-4-3.
Very unusual.
Yeah, it is unusual, and it would be easy to pass against or to spread out, and it's going to be tough to run against.
Golper in motion again. Emmett Smith, the ball carrier again. Flag on the play. Penalty marker down. Smith got inside the 15 to about the 13. It's going to be holding.
Well, Troy Aikman has a special towel out there now to try and keep his hands dry. And he knows he doesn't want to throw it. Ernie Zampese knows he doesn't want to throw it because Troy Aikman has told him he hates to throw a wet ball.
61 offense.
Holding against Nate Newton. But he's in a position now where he's just about have to going to throw it.
See, and Britt Hager was the extra linebacker that goes in. As a matter of fact, Britt Hager is from Texas, and that's his wife right there. Watching this game, it's nice to come back home, but not to come back home and be down 21-7.
2nd and 17 for the Cowboys. Aikman again to Emmett Smith. And William Thomas around the corner wraps up Emmett Smith.
Well, that looks like something you do in a rodeo or something, the way William Thomas came around that corner. Watch him. He's down in a 3-point stance. He's not going to fool anyone. 2-8 blocks down. Kennard misses him. Kennard was going to trap him. Derek Kennard. He completely missed William Thomas. Whew, can't do that.
3rd and 19.
Now I think Aikman's going to have to throw this one, huh?
Yep. 3 wide receivers. The handoff is to Emmett Smith. Smith out of bounds at the 20 by Michael Zordich, who must have gotten rid of those leg cramps that he had.
Now maybe the Eagles know that he's not going to throw it too. Watch him. I formation is going to be the lead to the right. He cuts back. Nate Newton makes a good block. Eric Allen misses a tackle. Little straight arm, and Gardner knocked into the wall. That guy saved him from something down there.
He still hit pretty hard.
Yeah, but he hit it feet first. I think if the guy hadn't have saved him, he would have hit it head first.
Bonio will try a field goal from 38 yards. And it's good. And the Cowboys increase their lead to 24-7.
Business. Install it in your office today. And by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Bonio the kickoff. Jeff Seidner is hit down by Bates.
Tell you, Bates may not be the fastest guy in the team, but if he's not the fastest guy in the team, how's he get to be the first guy down there all the time? The special teams is 90% just wanting to. Watch him. He just comes like he's shot out of a cannon there. And when he's shot out of a cannon, he's going for something. He looks like a whirling dervish.
That's as fast as he's going to go when he comes shot out of a cannon.
And he's doing that with a broken wrist. I saw him the other night, and I said, how you doing? He said, oh, it's good. He said, I just got a broken wrist. That's all it's bothering me. He didn't have a tape or anything on it. No cast or nothing.
Here's Cunningham back to throw it. Gets it to Bavaro, who slides at about the 28, 29. First down, Philadelphia. Slow getting up.
Yeah, I saw Bill Bates in town the other night. He was giving a motivational speech, and I bet he's pretty good at that. But he was saying
motivation.
That, yeah,
I bet he is.
You see, he's wearing a cast there now. I mean, he has a broken left wrist, but the other night he was saying, "Yeah, I broke my wrist a little." And he was kind of rubbing it. And the only thing it does is foul up my golf game. But other than that, he doesn't even know he has a broken wrist.
Doesn't bother motivational speeches
or anything else.
Cunningham fires to Maurice Johnson. He's taken out of bounds by Larry Brown. Broderick Thompson, by the way, had to come out. Tom McHale has replaced him at right tackle for the Philadelphia offense.
You know, talking about other guys that have played well, I think Larry Brown and Kevin Smith had, because one of the big parts of this Philadelphia offense is Fred Barnett and Calvin Williams, and they've been pretty quiet today, and I think they've been excellent coverage against them.
Second down. Cunningham draw play. Garner for 3 or 4. Russell Maryland brought him down.
Russell Maryland just makes plays, and anytime you run a draw in there, I think, remember that old guy that would stand in there and play the draw, the policeman. Yeah, the old cop. I'll go, I'll rush, you stand there and play the cop. I think on this team, I think Russell Maryland's a cop. I think for the Eagles, I think the Fridge is a cop. You know, I'll take care of everything around the line of scrimmage.
You guys go ahead and rush, yeah. On third down, they're showing blitz. Cunningham fires, gets it to Walker, and gets enough for a first down. Brock Marion made the stop on Herschel Walker.
You know, Randall Cunningham is one of those hot and cold type quarterbacks. I mean, he can get real hot and put a lot of things together, and conversely, he can get cold and not put anything together. And so he had a good streak early, and then he had a cold streak, and now he's trying to get a hot streak.
He needs a hot streak. The rain has stopped, by the way.
Yeah. He's just had a tough time against his good Cowboy team.
Pass complete to Joseph. Dixon Edwards there as soon as he caught the ball.
And that's the one thing that impresses you about this defense that, you know, Butch Davis has here is that they all run so well. I mean, if you look at the defensive linemen, the linebackers, the secondary, they all run. And then when they run, they get there and they tackle well, too.
Butch Davis is pretty impressive to talk to, too.
Yeah, I think there's a guy who's going to be a head coach in this time and not too distant future.
I think you're right. Cunningham throws low. Chad Hennings was right in his face. James Joseph, the intended receiver.
Rich Kotite still looking at that. The last real good play he came up with was that fake to Joseph and that throw to Herschel Walker for the touchdown.
Zeke Bratkowski alongside. I asked Zeke before the game. I was talking to him down on the field. How much longer are you going to continue to coach? And he said he talked to Bart Starr last week, and Bart said, as long as you enjoy it, don't stop it.
I think that's just about true of anything.
Yep. Cunningham back to throw. Under pressure, flag on the play, and down he goes.
And again, it was Charles Haley, because Cunningham looked at Haley. That's one thing a quarterback can't do, is he can't see the pass rush. If he ever looks at the pass rush, then he takes the eyes off downfield. That time, he saw Haley coming from the left side and looked at him and brought the ball down. Watch, here's Haley. Now watch when Haley comes from that left side. Watch Cunningham right there. You see he sees him? Then he puts the ball down. Then he has to take off the minute he sees that. Now he starts to run. It's all over.
78 offense.
Tripping.
Penalty is declined.
Was the penalty called tripping. That's declined, and the Eagles will have to punt. Kevin Williams back deep. Cunningham over on the sideline. Brian Barker to punt it. That's a good kick. Williams going to let it bounce into the end zone. They'll bring it to the 20. Good effort. Cowboys take over zone 20, leading 24-7.
This is
24-7. Cowboys over the Eagles. 8:59 left to play. Eric Williams had cramps in his thigh and lower leg.
And that was a two-man job to get that one out of there. I mean, he had about 4 hands working on that calf.
Aikman gets to Lincoln Coleman. He and Tommy Agee are the 2 runners now, the 2 backs for the Cowboys. Byron Evans made the stop.
I was trying to walk it off because you cramp, you get a cramp, and then it'll go away. And then if you don't keep moving, the thing will come back on you.
Comes right back.
And sometimes you do keep moving, and the thing will come back on you.
It just won't go away. You're right. Larry Allen has taken his place, by the way. Him and Smith getting a rest.
Well, you know, I mean, that humidity and the sweat and the dehydration, it causes those cramps.
Aikman. Nothing there. Just had to throw it away. Nobody could get loose. Tommy Agee was the nearest Cowboy, number 34. Eric Kennard has dropped a few, I would think, today.
Well, he dropped a few today. I mean, he didn't drop a few coming into today.
No, no.
But, I mean, we have some of the biggest guys in all of football. When you have Derek Kennard there, you have the refrigerator, you have Nate Newton, Eric Williams
yeah.
with cramp. I mean, we got some big guys out there in this football field.
Leon Lett's not going to just blow away either. Aikman. To Alvin Harper, I believe. Not enough for a first.
He's laughing. He was trying to get that first down.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, if you're going to run that pattern, and Alvin Harper knows it, Eric Allen knew it. You know, Eric Allen's trying to stop him from getting the first down. Harper's trying to get to the point of the first down, and Aikman would like to throw it to the point of the first down.
Jet into punt. Jeff Seidner back deep for Philadelphia. Hellestray, the snapper, has been playing, so he had to go dry his hands. Jet end over end. Making a pretty good Cowboy bounce. Finally does. Now Seidner picked it up and was knocked out of bounds at the 20. Bill Bates, Brock Marion down on the coverage.
Sunday.
7 Cowboys. That picture on the left is Emmitt Smith last Sunday. The one on the right today. This is last Sunday now. Emmitt checking his beeper to see what the message was. Somebody called him. He had on the headset. Somebody called him and said, "We're talking about him. Madden's talking about you." And that's what they're all laughing about. And we're saying, "Who you got on the beeper?"
Hey, you wonder how
a friend of his called and said we were talking about it.
Yeah, someone was watching television, called him on his beeper, and he got that on the sideline. That's technology.
Football has come a long way. Here's Cunningham. Flushed out of the pocket, chased by Jeff Coates. Down he goes. Sliding at about the 25.
Yeah, we're talking about this Dallas Cowboy defense and how well they can run. You know, they don't have to have a spy for Cunningham. Remember when people used to have a spy, they had one guy just assigned to him when he runs? Now they figure that they have so much team speed that when he runs, they can just go and catch him.
Even Jim Jeffcoat's gotten faster.
Yeah, because he doesn't play as much. I think if they keep him under 25 plays, he can be as effective as ever.
Cunningham has the ball batted backwards. And now slammed to the ground by Russell Maryland.
He slammed it to the ground because Russell Maryland wanted a touchdown.
We saw him score once.
Yeah, he saw that ball up in the air, and those toes weren't bothering him then. Watch him. He's going to come straight up the middle. Cunningham goes to throw it. Maryland hits it with his left hand, and now that thing goes way up in the air. And now about 4 of those big, fast linemen I was talking about were chasing that thing. And if any of them caught it, it would have been a touchdown.
Russell gets the rest.
You know, in life, a defensive lineman doesn't get to touch a ball a lot.
Just get to bat it once in a while. Flag on the play. The clock expired.
Yeah, usually in practice.
5 yards. Repeat third down.
Usually in practice, they don't even let the defensive lineman have a ball. They give them some old kicking ball or something for the coach to give them starts with.
Barry Switzer.
Now, that's a new look for Barry.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen him with a cap before.
I don't think I have either.
No, he's usually one of those guys that doesn't wear one.
I saw him in a golf cap one time. Same guy.
Different hat.
Third for the Eagles and Cunningham. Third down. He's back to throw it. Going deep. Nothing doing. No flag. Penalty marker down. No flag early, one late.
It's like that official heard you say no flag, and the minute you said no flag, he threw one in there.
Barnett was the intended receiver.
Old J-Dub, James Washington is in there arguing that he didn't do it.
Arguing with a lot of enthusiasm.
Hey, you're going to see Brown coming from the outside. Now he didn't do it. He's okay. And Washington didn't do anything, so they couldn't call it against Washington. It had to be against Brown.
I don't know how they called anything.
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe they'll pick it up. They do that sometimes, you know.
Well, they haven't moved the first down marker yet.
24 defense.
Now they call it against Brown.
Yeah, Larry Brown. It couldn't have been against James Washington because he didn't do anything.
Neither did Brown.
Yeah, and look, he's trying to get position right there. Is the only thing that they could have called is that he tried to stick his right shoulder inside of Fred Barnett.
That's it. That's close. I don't care what angle we look at it from.
They had one of those against Mark McMillan. It was close.
James Joseph took the pass from Cunningham. Shante Carver, the Cowboys' #1 draft choice, made the stop.
See Chad Hennings? He almost intercepted that thing.
He waved at it going by.
Yeah, Randall Cunningham had to get it over Chad Hennings.
Second down, about 2. Joseph, the lone setback. Handoff to Joseph. He lunged for perhaps enough, maybe a little bit short. Tripped up by Tony Tolbert and Godfrey Miles.
You know, do you understand when you look at Chad Hennings? I've never been able to figure it out, but how a guy that big flew airplanes?
Well, it's a special kind of airplane.
I mean, it would have to be. I mean, how could you be that big and be a pilot in the Air Force?
That's Joseph. And he's going to score. James Joseph ripped it up the middle for an Eagle touchdown from 34 yards away.
Now they took Chad Hennings out. He was in the middle, and he was playing pretty well in the middle. And James Joseph just hit that middle. Watch that. I mean, he's just going to run the ball right up into this area here. You see Leon Lett has it. He over pursues a little right there. They get a good block on the linebacker. A missed tackle there by James Washington, and Joseph's in the end zone.
They're going to go for 2. Cunningham. Fakes to Walker. Cunningham, I don't think, made it. He went airborne and didn't make it. Didn't make it. Cowboy lead is now 24-13, 5:27 left.
It's Wendy's. Use a 3-inch tee to kick off from, and they kicked off from the 35-yard line. Well, this year, they're using a 1-inch tee, and they're kicking off from the 30. Net result, you're going to be seeing a lot more returners stick it towards the end zone.
Stay tuned for more of Wendy's Fresh Look at the Rule Book.
Since Wendy's in... Eagles about to kick off, and the Cowboys are expecting an onside kick.
You know, everyone has a conversion chart in here. It says if you're down by 11, you go for 2. That's what the Eagles did.
They got the onside kick. The ball didn't go 10 yards. Was hit by a Cowboy, and the Eagles came up with it. And they've got it. Bounced off the chest of one of the Cowboy cover men. I think Mark Woodward made the recovery for the Eagles, and they take over.
That was a good onside kick. He said, here you come. Usually, the way he started, it was like he was going to kick it to the right, kicks it back to the left, then the ball hits a Cowboy, takes a big hop up in the air, and then the Eagles have 3 guys there because you know which side you're going to kick it to. You say onside kick left, then everyone just runs to that left side.
Bounced off Brock Marion.
I don't know that Brock Marion could have handled that. I mean, it looked like it hit him and just ran right up his body.
5:27, 5:20 left to play. Still plenty of time. Cowboy lead is 11 points. Cunningham drops it to Vaughn Hebron. Hebron breaks a tackle and gets an Eagle first down, out of bounds, stop the clock.
You know, the Eagles use that chart to go for that too, but I don't know if you're down by 11. To me, I would think you get down by 10, and then with a touchdown and a field goal, you can tie. Because now by missing it, now you need 2 touchdowns.
Well, now you need a touchdown, and you go for 2 and get a field goal, and you tie. But they get
that's probably what they figure, that you go for it, but then if you score again, then you go for it again.
Right.
So you have 2 points.
Here's Cunningham, chased by Chad Henning. Just sort of squirted out of there.
You know, Chad Hennings is one of those guys that does give a push. That's what Barry Switzer said he likes about him. I mean, he's learned how just to take the pocket and just push it. I mean, he just pushed Antone Davis and just stayed with it, stayed with it, stayed with it. Cunningham couldn't find anything, and Chad Hennings ended up getting him.
2nd and 23. Cunningham gets going quickly. And he's back to throw it. Pass is complete to midfield to Fred Barnett, who takes a hit from Washington, but hangs on nevertheless.
Well, with these 2 deep safeties, these safeties just sitting in there, it is really tough. You have to be a tough guy when you come into this middle. Because when you catch a ball like that, you know that the next thing is going to be that. James Washington was just waiting there for that shot.
3rd and 4. Vaughn Hebron is the lone setback for the Eagles. Flag on the play. The pass is incomplete. Intended for Barnett. But a penalty marker down.
False start prior to the snap. 74 offense. 5 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
All against Bernard Williams.
That's a rookie #1 draft choice. You know, all in all, he's had a lot of help over there against Charles Haley, but he's really done a pretty good job. I mean, they've been running at that side. Here he is right here. Here's Bernard Williams there, and it's not much, but once you get set, you can't move. You see, he just gave a little flinch right there.
3rd and 9. 3.5 minutes left to play. Cowboys up by 11. Now they'll stop the clock with 3:34. Back to throw it. Haley around the corner. Pass is caught by Calvin Williams. And the Eagles move deep into Cowboy territory.
But they are 3rd and long. You'd think they'd just go for the first down. Watch Calvin Williams. Kenneth Gant is going to come to the inside here, and he just gets right beyond Gant. That was a double coverage.
Heck of a catch.
He ran right through that double coverage. There were 2 guys there, short, deep, and there had been a 3rd guy on Calvin Williams before that.
Clock stopped. Now it's going at 3:08. Cunningham back to throw it. Incomplete. And no penalty marker down. Calvin Williams, the intended receiver. Today's game was produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill.
And these fans are all staying here, Pat, because they know Randall Cunningham, and they know that he can get hot, then go cold, but they also know he can get hot again.
2:59 left to play. The handoff is to Vaughn Hebron. Draw play. Kenneth Gant and Bill Bates converge to make the stop.
You know, an interesting thing here on 3rd down. Do you think in terms of 2 plays? In other words, you're going to go for it on 4th down, or do you think in terms of 1 and kick a field goal, knowing that you need a field goal?
Cunningham to Fred Barnett. It's down at about the Cowboy 11. It's a 1st down.
Hey, Randall Cunningham has whatever he started the game with, he has it back right now. Because he's zipping this ball into coverage. And if you just watch this, I mean, the coverage is there. They got the bumps, and he's just drilling it in there before they can react to it.
He almost threw this one sidearm.
Well, he can. I mean, he has that long delivery. And again, he's a dangerous guy.
Don't forget, next Sunday, Fox NFL Sunday begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, with the hottest 1-hour pregame show on television. Then it's Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader action at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Chicago battles Detroit. The Rams take on the Saints. Redskins face the Colts. And at 4 o'clock Eastern time, John and I'll be in Arizona as the Cardinals, who won today, take on the Cowboys. The other late games, the Falcons travel to Los Angeles to face the Raiders, and Tampa Bay squares off against San Francisco. Check the local listings for the games in your area next Sunday right here on Fox Sports. Right now on Fox Sports, 1st and 10 Eagles at the Cowboy 11, and Cunningham back to throw it. He's going to take off. Cunningham is down at about the 1-yard line after he had to come out of the pocket.
And the Eagles only have one timeout left. They're going to get the 2-minute right now, though.
And 2 minutes to go. The Eagles are at the Cowboy 1, and it's 24-13 Dallas.
How do I like my steak? How do I like my steak? Bold, eye-opening, spicy. It gets you here, and it gets you right here. A1 Bold. Yeah, that's what I'm in the mood for.
Original A1 and A1 Bold. They're how steak is done.
Yeah, golf. Football. Golf. No. Football.
Let's watch both.
Miller Lite presents Full Contact Golf.
Yeah!
We're still on the first hole, Bob, and this is Davis teeing it up. Here's the drive. It is blocked! Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste with less filling, you can combine anything. Oh, he's got daylight going for the green. Here's the putt. There's the blitz. It's good! Yeah!
Oh, good beer. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Here we are, what do you think? Recently, I had a day where I knew I wouldn't send a single letter, or fax one fax, or even read a memo. James, this is my son, Kurt.
Introducing wrinkle-free 100% cotton Dockers, because there are times when just getting dressed isn't enough.
I didn't know the day would be so productive.
Can I work here?
Can you work here?
Yeah.
Too short.
It starts with fresh baked bread, juicy slices of mouth-watering steak, and the kicker, it's covered with A1 steak sauce, plus all the fresh fixins you like. Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. If you're not hungry yet, you better check your pulse.
Back at Texas Stadium, 2 minutes left. Dallas 24-13. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The Eagles have it 1st and goal at the 1. Now they're in a situation, John, so where if they score, they have to go for 2 points.
They have to go for 2, and then if they had their timeouts left, they could probably kick the ball deep, but they only have 1 timeout left, so I think they'd probably have to go for an onside kick.
They've tried one successfully to start this drive. That's Garner, and he didn't get in.
There's a big play by Robert Jones, because again the Eagles only have one timeout left. Watch Jones. He's going to come and he's going to hit that thing. He reads it, comes right around the pile, gets his shoulder square.
That's a good tackle.
That is a great tackle.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the Eagles don't throw down here, because with no timeouts left, at least with an incomplete pass, that stops the clock.
Cunningham gives to Garner, and he's thrown backwards for a loss.
Now I'm really
Robert Jones again. Now they got to take their timeout. And
I
now
don't
they're
mean
out.
a second guess, but they should have thrown both of those balls. And it's just a thing, because if he hits that play again, then you have to use your timeout. You see, and the Cowboys, for some reason, are playing run down here. And you'd think a play pass, you could get something in the end zone.
Robert Jones with two key plays to knock the Eagles backwards. 24-13 Cowboys lead. 1:21 left in the fourth. The Eagles out of timeouts. Texas Stadium has had a busy afternoon.
And they're not leaving.
Charles Haley had a big busy afternoon himself. Those of you who watched the Rams and the Giants, welcome to Texas Stadium. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. The Cowboys lead the Philadelphia Eagles 24-13. That's the final. Rams have beaten the Giants. It's 3rd down and goal for the Eagles on the 7. They're out of timeouts.
Yeah, the Eagles foul that up, because when you're on the 1-yard line, that's a running down, but not when you only have one timeout. You need 2 scores. Then it becomes a passing down.
Now this is a passing down. Flag on the play.
And the Eagles are going backwards fast.
Tom McHale moved.
False start prior to the snap. 68 offense. 5 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
They were at about the half-yard line. Now they're back.
Now you can see he's ready to pass protect. He's back there. Now once you get set, you can't move at all. And just that little move there. He's in there for Broderick Thompson.
Jeffcoat got him with that little flinch. Made him move.
Jeffcoat had gotten Bernard Williams on that other side too.
3rd and goal at the 12. 1:21 left to play. Cunningham has to duck under and does duck under. Pass, I believe, is intercepted in the end zone. Larry Brown came up with the interception in the end zone. And that should do it. The Eagles are out of timeout.
Now that Cowboy defense has played great all day, and those 2 corners have been superb.
Cowboys will take over. And they lead 24-13.
You're just going to see Larry Brown out here. They spread the defense out, spread the offense out, try and get everyone off. Brown started up like tight coverage, then he just backs off, and then when Cunningham starts to scramble, he stays underneath. He's staying between the receiver and Cunningham, and Randall Cunningham just threw it right to Larry Brown, who had good position. There was nothing there for Cunningham to throw to.
Larry Brown still got the ball.
And he's going to keep that ball. We were again talking about how well those Cowboy corners and whole secondary play. Well, the whole defense is playing. They're #1 in the league. What the heck?
Miller Lite player of the game is Troy Aikman. He took another beating. Confused perhaps a little bit by the Eagle defense and the coverage in the beginning, but bounced back. He really hummed that last touchdown pass that he threw to Novacek.
That was a thing of beauty. And, as you say, he started off slowly. Things weren't working for him, but he made things happen.
They'll just run this one out. The Eagles can't do anything but shake hands now.
You watch this, and we've seen them the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
They're the best team in the NFL.
Charles Haley, one of the great contributors today and every week. Bill Bates, Lincoln Coleman, William Fuller. Bill Romanowski. Randall Cunningham, a frustrating day. The final score here at Texas Stadium is Dallas 24, Philadelphia 13. Coming up, it's the NASDAQ Stock Market post-game report. James and Terry will get you up to date on all of today's NFL action with scores and highlights from around the NFL. That's all coming up next on the NASDAQ Stock Market post-game report.
They started by shipping tires at night.
And welcome to the NASDAQ Stock Market post-game report here in Hollywood. Let me give you a rundown of the scores around the National Football League. We start first down in Dallas. It was a battle for the NFC East lead. Randall Cunningham, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble as the Eagles fell to the Cowboys 24-13. The Cowboys take over first place in the East. L.A. Rams
Schneid, Rob, although at Pittsburgh, a tough call for
That would be tough. This is a streaky series between these two, but they got to win at some point, you would think. Yes. The Steelers, of course, have the league's top rushing attack, led by Barry Foster. That had to concern the Bengals since they are next to the last in AFC.